Kobe.
That
If y'all
was not
saw
the best
that,
start. I hope that didn't make it on
if
there.
y'all saw what?
Oh, I had just turned the video on when you did that.
I don't have my screens up in front of me,
that
so I
made it.
wasn't sure. Yeah, so that didn't work out very well for me.
Talking about your shot?
I want to take this thing down. Even worse now because it just made me look terrible. But the Predators do lose. At least they lost early in the first overtime and not like late in the sixth. Like I tweeted out, I said, at least if that's what was gonna happen, at least it happened 4 minutes in, because none of us needed to sit there for 90 minutes to get to that finish.
Yeah. Although they played lights out, though, as far as
I agree. In a lot of respects, man, I think this game was very similar to others in this series.
Yeah.
Where I largely thought the team that played better lost.
Yeah.
I felt like in general, Carolina was on their heels. I know that they did turn it around, but I got the feeling from the outset that the Predators were more the aggressors. They were forcing the issue. And when it got into the third period in that last 8 or 9 minutes, I had made that point, and you had too, that look, the pressure is on the favorite at that point in time. And it was all on them. It just felt like the pressure was on them. They were gripping. It was just like the Predators have this. They've just got to hang on. But there's going to be a flurry of activity. And unfortunately, there was a flurry of activity enough that got that tying goal in there with that last like 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, oh, Lord, well, if we go to overtime, I had picked the Canes, but I picked the Canes to look dominant. And that absolutely was not the case. This series has been played differently than these two teams played in the regular season in terms of one being number one and one barely getting into the playoffs. All those bets are off. And one of the big reasons why, or the biggest reason why, is because UC Saros is just the best goaltender in the league right now. And he just doing every possible thing he could, because he was sustaining a ton of shots again, not as much as he sustained in the previous game, in game 4, but you just can't get by him, because there were a couple of point blank opportunities for the Hurricanes. They just could not cash them in because Saros wasn't going to be denied.
No, he wasn't, man. And you mentioned something. It looked like the Canes were on their heels. That entire game, it showed. It showed in their frustration. It showed in their play. It almost was like they were in a chase mode, and I know it'll sound obvious when I say it, but it looked like they were overly relieved when they were able to get a goal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they had to fight and claw to score on the Preds last night, and it showed in a lot of different ways. Their crowd, look around, you know, on the TV copy of their crowd. Their crowd is sitting back like an anxious, rocking old lady sitting on the front porch. Like, they were really just back and forth, like, what is happening right now? And the Preds, they did it to them. And this is something we brought up about this series, though, when they went down 0-2, the Preds. It's like, well, maybe they're more comfortable here. And they look it. It looked like they like being in the chase, like being on a run like that. But to that point about why you pick the Canes to win the series, and why a lot of people picking to win the entire cup, too, it's because they have a lot of talent. At some point in time, you give them enough time on the ice, and you have just a sliver of time to have a mistake, they're going to capitalize on it. Overtime last night, it was one of those things where I ain't going to say it was lucky for them to be able to get the puck in the way they did, but if somebody's right in front of the net, or they're assisting they're assisting them just a little bit more. They're assisting Saros just a little bit more, Jay. And that's been the issue, too, is he is constantly bombarded by the Canes in this game, or them not being in the right spot. And that sucks because, like you said, he's a young stud, and he is fighting and claw, hands and knees, literally every single game, man. And even though the Preds got one last night, taken off the board from him, that still was kind of iffy to me, too.
Look.
Simply because
I can understand that Yossi was in the way, right? So they take the goal. They take what would have been the tying goal, for the Hurricanes off the board in Raleigh, which was shocking to do it in front of their home crowd. But yes, Yossi definitely was there, and he's the one that ultimately blocked. But the Canes player was in the blue ice, and that's what they were calling, I think. However,
However,
I'm listening to Chris Mason on the broadcast, a former goaltender, say I don't think that's goalie interference. And he's somebody that wants to think that that's the case. He wants to think that there was goalie interference because, well, he's a Nashville guy.
Yeah.
And when he said that, it really struck me. NBC said the opposite. Everybody on NBC said it was clear as day that it should have been called.
It was a game before that went through the same scenario. What was it? The night before and having a goal pulled off the board. And they were like, well, if they're going to go by that guideline, then this one has to be taken off the board too. I'll commend them on consistency as far as the refs goes, but a lot of people look at that sideways.
You mean consistently bad?
Yeah, consistently terrible. I mean, you could have called a trip on Cousins right towards the end of regulation, I think it was.
I'm iffy, Jack.
Stahl definitely showed his veteran tendencies because there was some gamesmanship on that spot that led to the finish of the game, obviously. But these two teams are playing as hard as two teams can. Here we go into overtime again. We've never had that happen in history of the NHL. Two multiple overtime games that were followed by a third straight overtime game. They were loud last night in Carolina.
Yes.
When you saw the wide shot, they had a lot of people in that building.
Yes,
they had a lot of people in that building.
They did. And shout out to the Preds fans who were in there, just sprinkled in when they scored goals. And the cameras were just panning the crowd, and the Preds fans were all in the visuals. I was like, you gotta be a bold fan to go on the road and just be up and celebrating. You know there was some beer spilt also.
Oh, for sure. But so you get 2 goals from Yakov Trenin, and generally it felt like it could go either way, just like all of these last 3 games really have. But I'll tell you, the wraparound goal, which I'm looking at right now from Nekas.
Let's be fair. That's about as pretty as it gets.
It is.
Ooh.
It was. I'm telling you, that was NHL 94 EA Sports stuff for me right there. Because that's the only time it ever works, because that wraparound stuff doesn't really work all that often.
Actually never played NHL.
By the way,
those games
it's
are
pretty
fun,
cool.
Man. Yeah.
On that final goal, 9 out of 10 times, Saros knocks that puck out of the air harmlessly and nobody gets to it.
Yeah.
It's puck luck. That's the randomness.
A lot of people
that
are like,
is the
well,
sport of
Benning
hockey.
should have been able to get there. It was a really, really pretty play.
Can you be mad?
Just tip your hat to the guy on that one and say, well done.
You can't even be mad.
And people are like, oh, Saros usually gets over faster. Okay. All I know is that was very impressive.
You know what? MJ,
however you want to slice it, man. I'm just going to give it to him.
MJ usually never got crossed over until AI caught him.
Exactly.
Well, let's be fair about this last night to some of these fans, because I go to bed the start of overtime. I'm not quite asleep yet because, hey, it's starting to get late for us. And then Stahl scores the goal. Carolina wins. I go to Twitter, and people are starting to go at the Preds' throats. It's like, come on. What more do you want from these guys? And especially in a sport that can be as random when it comes to the bounces as hockey. Stop eating your own when it comes to your team who played really hard, played pretty well during stretches of the game. Look, the other team just won. Deal with it. Give the other team sometimes a little bit of credit.
They're number 1 seed for a reason. They're very, very talented. I will say that the Predators looked faster to me, or faster than I was anticipating them in terms of it looked like Carolina was the one that was more gassed.
Yep. And I'll say this. If the Canes win this, they're going to – whoever gets them in the second round, going to have a beat-down, tired team, I think. Or whoever's going into the second round. I know they're going to play up, but you got to think, man, what is this, 3 straight games with overtimes? Like, we can say recovery, but at the end of the day, these guys are going at it, man. And like you said, you can be mad at the Preds, you can be upset, but what more did you expect from them? Clearly, I mean, Carolina is the better team nationally anyway, and it's not much you can do other than just hope the guys get these last 2. That's all you can hope for right now is hope the guys get the last 2 because they are playing lights out, and that's all you want from the home team right now.
And here's the thing. There's no reason why the Preds can't win Game 6.
No, there's not.
It's not.
That's how close this entire series has been.
What did you think of the Carrier penalty? The interference call on Aho.
Soft. Thought it was soft, but I
I
think you could
think
say
it's almost like you
but
shouldn't have called either one of them in overtime.
agreed, but at the same time, that goalie interference, I understand why they made the ruling they did, but that should have been a goal. That should have been a goal.
See, I tend to think I agreed with Chris Mason on that.
I did too.
However, I mean, I was like, all right, well, fine. Sometimes you just take it, and maybe it's going to be your night.
I mean, I was
and then
happy
it came
that
and bit you in the end.
I was happy that it wasn't, but you and I had a similar reaction on Twitter immediately after they made the ruling. Went, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
That's all I said. Mine
like
was
that one. I
three
saw that.
letters.
Yeah, mine was a gif of.
RELAA.
Yeah, mine was a gif of a kid going, "Oh,
Yeah.
like he just stole something."
Yeah, that's what it
They
felt.
did,
That's
right?
absolutely what it felt like. So, what did you see last night? What did you see? What did you see?
Juicy.
See, Soros.
615-737-1045. I got something to tell you. 7:20 this morning. You got a chance to win 2 tickets to Game 6. So you might want to be near your radio. You're going to be listening anyway. Might as well go win tickets to a playoff hockey game along the way. 615-737-1045. That's the telephone number. Guess what we also are going to talk about today? Oh, yeah. Julio Jones. A.J. Brown's Twitter game.
I think it was his IG game too, both of them.
I guess it was.
Mhm.
All angles.
Come vibe with me, bruh.
Buckling like
Dude,
that.
he sounded like he was 8 years old, man. He was so excited.
He sounded like he was talking to one of his. We'll get it.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Bill Bender of the Sporting News, David Beauclair of Sports Illustrated, Brett Bryan of Titans Radio, and Inky Johnson of
Inky Johnson.
Inky Johnson Inc.
That's it.
All of them set to join us on a busy, busy Wednesday, plus time for you at 737-1045. We are back in 5 on 104.5 The Zone.
Have a late lunch with Blaine and Mickey.
No, but people eat beef tongue. That's a thing. Lucas nodding.
Yes.
I just can't imagine the cow going like trying to move with no tongue.
That's a cow. That's a big tongue.
Oh yeah, it's a big tongue.
Blaine and Mickey. This afternoon, 1 to 3 on 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, it's Ramon, and selling your home can often be difficult. It can be stressful. It can be a lot of things that you do not like. But if you want that process to be much more convenient, choose Open Door. Hundreds of thousands of people have already experienced the convenience of using Open Door, and you can too. Simply go to opendoor.com if you're driving, not right now while you're driving, all right? But then you can answer a few quick questions about your home, complete a contact-free video walkthrough, and you can get your offer in just a few steps. If you like that offer, you can sell your house directly to Open Door. No do-it-yourself repairs, no prep work, no staging, no decluttering, no moving out. If you got trash on the floor, guess what? All they care about is the video anyway. That's why it is so convenient. You can get your offer, you can close when you are ready, and you can do it all online. Get your free offer at opendoor.com/myoffer. Again, it's opendoor.com/myoffer. Offer eligibility varies, and Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage, Inc., license 02061130 in California, Open Door Brokerage, LLC, and its other markets.
At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we talk to men about sexual health issues all the time. And the one thing we hear often is how erectile dysfunction often makes bedroom performance both a disappointing and intimidating experience for a man and his partner.
free. This report brought to you by HeroLoan.com. The VA loan is one of the best benefits of being in the military. You can buy a home with no money down, and interest rates are up to a full point lower than other loans. HeroLoan.com. NMLS number 1326241. I'm Christy O'Brien with traffic on your home for Titans football. 1045 The Zone.
Come vibe with me, man. Yo, Julio. Hey, man, check this out, man. Hey, you see the message above right here, bro. Come on, bro. Come vibe with me, bro. Hey, you know I'm good for it. You know all them talks we be having, you know what I'm saying? Bro, you know I'm good for it, bro. You know I got your back, bro. Like, trust me, bro. If you want to carry the load, you can carry it. But if you get tired, you know definitely, you know I'll carry you, bro. Another thing, you know I'm not giving my number up. I said I would. I tried to get number 1. They said I can't. So, you're going to have to rock number 8. You already know all of this, but... Hey, just come mess with your boy, man. Hey, real talk, man. Hey, we waiting on you over here. You say you want to win, right? We just need a couple more pieces. Hey, trust me. Hey, come vibe with me, man.
It's like I'm a mirror. A mirror staring back at me.
I need the Jackie Moon bit right now.
For some reason, I think you could work "Come Vibe with Me, bro" into like a chorus. Into a beat, because there's something about the high pitched of it. Sounds like it's built for a song.
Hey, come vibe with me, man.
I mean, that one's all right. It's the other one's "Come Vibe with Me, bro."
The one I feel like we could, if we just see the whole word and script, like, you know I'm good for it. You can carry the load. I don't mind picking up too. Hey, Jay.
A.J. Brown wants Julio Jones.
Hey, come vibe with me, man.
Yeah.
I need the other one. I like that one too. That one's the adult in the room. The other one is like, please believe me.
I really didn't think it was real. No lie. Who was it? You or Shafe that sent it out yesterday?
I saw it. The world sent it out before I saw it.
I didn't think it was real. Yeah, there is absolutely no way. If that wasn't a verified account, I'd have been like, who's playing a prank today?
Come vibe with me, bro.
He sound like a little kid.
That's the part right there. That is daggone hilarious.
Me,
that one goes on the first.
Me,
that one goes on the first page of the JMart and Ramon producing. Oh man.
Hey.
So I want to say a couple. I want to say a couple things real quick. One, I think I've changed my mind. I'm on your side on whether or not Julio knew what was going on.
Straight up.
Or at least I'm more leaning that way than yesterday. I thought more about it and just kind of, I mean, look, I'm never going to be the guy that's going to stubbornly hang on to a point when I start to feel a different way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no authenticity behind that. So I'm tending to go in your direction on that now. And that here's one of the main reasons why. The unscripted or whatever, undisputed Twitter page scrubbed that part of the video off their Twitter account entirely.
Did they?
It wasn't anywhere. I saw Dan Patrick's producer at some point yesterday say, "Hey, where's that deal at?" Shannon still had it on his Twitter account.
Does he? He's willing to die
yesterday.
on that sword?
Yesterday morning he did. I don't know if he still does, but I would take that piece of evidence with them completely ignoring it. And I think the reason you ignore it is because you don't want to open yourself up to a lawsuit. So you just kind of try to let it go and forget about it because of the litigious nature. Second thing, we spent a lot of time yesterday talking about Julio Jones, and I felt like in a very measured way discussing it.
Yeah.
That said, the tweet I put out yesterday is right. I hope he does end up here. It would be freaking great. It'll be awesome if he ends up here.
Yeah, he still has it on his page, but Sports Illustrated is going at him right now too. Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones' interview with Shannon Sharpe on Monday has reportedly caused concern for Fox's relationship with the NFL. Ooh.
I'm telling you, the other part of this I still agree with, which is I don't know how that producer can hold on to his job.
Yeah.
And Shannon's probably, if it's true, there's a lot of people shouldn't take Shannon Sharpe's phone call ever again because you can't trust him.
You can't trust him.
Yeah. No.
He's everybody's big unc, though, man. He put Julio in a bad situation. If again,
Like I said, I still think. I mean, I felt like my rationale was right,
yeah, 100%.
but at the same time, like I watched it more, and I just kind of watched the tea leaves yesterday,
Yeah.
and the silence to me is mainly to try and keep from saying anything dumb that could be used against you.
Oh my goodness.
Because they can't put the genie back in the bottle. Once it's done, it's done.
We've seen it now.
That producer, though, and Schaefer will agree with me. Like, if that's true and we said it yesterday, that dude's got to go.
Well,
that producer's got to go.
Before he goes, Shannon's got to go.
But Shannon
Yeah.
at least is not like as adept on FCC regulations and all of the other kinds of things that you have to know to be a producer in that industry. Shannon Sharp wanted to, if indeed it was like this, he wanted to create something for himself. He wanted to create this moment.
I agree with you up to a point, but he's been doing this long enough. You should know better.
Yeah. That's just like me saying certain words or jokes on the air right now.
Well, I said yesterday Shannon should be fired, if that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Don mentioned that, Jenny Taft was the host there, and Jenny Taft is definitely a pro. We had her on Fox in the mornings years ago. She's very talented, and you even hear her at one point say, hey, tell them it's live and all this other kind of stuff. The producer, though, is the one that could just cut that mic. All you got to do is cut Shannon's mic, and you're not hearing anything.
Yeah.
So that producer just sat there and let that happen. That dude right there is the one that should be in the most trouble.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that could have stopped it, even if Shannon got over his skis on it.
Yeah, don't agree with that. It starts with Shannon before it gets to the producer. I mean, the producer's got his own culpability. The producer, director, what have you.
I'm saying he's the fail-safe, though, Shay.
I understand that.
He could have stopped it even in the middle of the phone call.
Shannon was the idiot that started it.
I'm not saying he's not the one who started it. I'm saying the producer could have stopped it even if Shannon went too far. Shannon's culpable, but the producer still could have cut all the microphones there at that table. He was the fail-safe.
But Shannon was also the person that put everybody at risk.
He did.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just saying, even if he's the guy, you still have a fail-safe, right?
Yeah.
Like, he had to be the seatbelt in the car. The producer had to be the seatbelt in the car. It was Shannon that crashed the car. But the producer's seatbelt still could have saved a life in that situation, is the way I would see it.
Either way, it turned out to be kind of – my whole thing was the vibe of the way Julio answered the phone. Like, yeah, he did call him back, but that was after I'm sure Shannon had called him, and he picked up the phone. Again, Jay, when we have conversation, like if you call me, I'm going to be like, what up? But if I'm calling in for an interview, it's a different tone, and I felt like Julio had a different tone. As smart as a guy as he is, and we've heard a lot of people say, like, he's media savvy, he's a smart guy, he doesn't say a whole lot. And truth be told, there was a I don't want to say one of my sources because, I mean, Shannon didn't put it out there that you'll call your sources and put them on air. But they were just like, Julio was taken back by this. Like, he had no idea, and the guy was pissed for Julio because Julio doesn't do this type of stuff. So
I'm also going to say this for the producer, because when you're live in that moment, and again, I still think it's somewhere in between what Jason's saying and what I'm saying, is that when you're in that moment, that chaos is happening. You're not sure what's real, what's not, and it may be one of those situations where, if you do cut them off, then you're going to catch flack on the other side of that anyway until things get cleared up.
Yeah.
So that is it's a tough call even for a seasoned veteran producer / director. It's a tough call. Whereas if you're in that chair and that's the person that's creating the chaos that's putting everybody else at risk, in my opinion, if you're going to do one, you got to do both. They both got to go.
Well,
to have the producer go, but the talent doesn't, and I know why the talent doesn't for obvious reasons.
Yeah, the talent is the talent.
Right.
Yeah,
So
Hall of Famer
what I'm saying is put yourself in that position when, to use this analogy, the bullets are flying in the situation, your talent's confused, everybody's confused, and then you have to make that call, which a lot of people wouldn't be making that call. You have to make that call, but at the same time, that's an exorbitantly high standard. That's all I'm saying about
I'll say
that.
one other thing real fast about it, and that is the dude with the most television experience on that set Skip.
Uh-huh.
Skip knew that wasn't right.
Well, why?
Skip was a journalist at one
but why
point in
is he
time
gonna
in
throw
San
his
Jose
body
likes
and
that,
in
though,
Dallas.
right?
He's not going to throw his
Yeah.
body.
Well, no,
right?
but that's the thing. You had the perfect storm of people that are just fine to be habitual line steppers.
Yeah.
And let's also say
And
this: it happened really quickly. That's one of those moments that when you're in the moment, you lose track of what time is. It doesn't even feel real.
Yeah, I get that. I still think the producer's got to take something for this.
I didn't say he doesn't take something, but in terms of being fired, that is equally as tough of a call.
Do you think Julio have the same conversation if he say, "Hey, I got you I got you on speakerphone right now. We on set."
Yeah, I don't know.
I know. You know, like that's
I don't know because the truth is we know Julio wanted out and told people.
yeah.
And this does get him to that destination because he's not real worried about whether or not they get a king's ransom for him at this point. He just wants to go somewhere else.
Out.
And according to Chris Sims,
Who? You couldn't even say his name without laughing.
according to Chris Sims, it's the Patriots and the Titans.
But what did you say yesterday about Chris Sims? He also said what?
Yeah, he also said Mac Jones was definitely going to be the pick
Mike
for
Jones.
the 49ers.
That's our guy. And he's in New England?
Chris Sims is bargain basement Dan Orlovsky.
Bargain basement.
Dan Orlovsky doesn't go anywhere near as like ridiculous to make points. I don't know where Chris Sims got that information. I'm not saying it's wrong. I mean, because I said I thought the Patriots is where he was going to land. I said that yesterday. I said it the day before. But I also thought Tennessee made sense. So it's not like he's mentioning teams that have no shot. Like it does make – these are two teams where it would make sense for him to land. So I don't know if he needed all that many sources. So now it just comes to this is the truth of the matter about the Julio Jones situation. If you make the best offer, you'll get him because Atlanta's looking for the best offer. What people fail to realize about this whole thing is the only control Julio has is to say, well, I'm not going to play there if you send me there.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like, okay, well, we can acquire you, but if you're just going to – and again, you know Julio's not the guy that's ever done something like that publicly. So is he willing to do that, or do you call his bluff? Because if you're the Falcons, you send them where they're going to give you the best draft pick back.
Yep.
Or if you have to do a draft pick and a veteran player, which was being discussed yesterday. Like, if you had to give up a third and Kevin Byard for Julio Jones, how do you feel about that deal now?
Ooh.
Because I saw that specifically mentioned yesterday afternoon. I didn't just throw his name out there randomly.
But they're taking on the same amount of money, though, almost.
A third and a third round pick.
But I'm talking about as far as Atlanta and the contract, though.
Yes.
Atlanta and the contract. Byard, though?
That was one name that was mentioned. Taylor was mentioned.
But they got Matthews, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying you do it. I think they were just throwing out a bunch of names.
Yeah. Wow. Taylor. That's not that line isn't fit just yet. Ty is back, Sombrello, right?
Yeah.
I got
What if they wanted Harold? What if they wanted who knows what it would be because you're bidding against whoever else, whatever asset somebody else is willing to give up for him.
I'll say this too, and I'm jumping out on a limb. I have a hankering. Isn't it what you said?
A hankering means you want something bad. It means you're hungry for something.
Yeah,
just before
I have a thought. I have a thought that somehow I have a hunch. I have a theory that somehow the rookie Dylan Radins is in this lineup. And I say that.
Oh, you mean as a starter for the Titans?
On day one.
I wouldn't disagree.
The fact
with you
that we're
bit.
mentioning that run left side in a trade proposal, I don't know who it was from. And also, you're looking at a guy that either got to restructure or be a June 1st cut. And our guy, man. But Roger Sappho, the Titans really are in a sticky situation right now.
I can't imagine that Atlanta would take anybody back because of the cap situation. They're just trying to create money, unless they're also going to unload a couple of other guys.
That's what I'm saying.
To create space to take somebody back that they feel like would help their team more. As it stands now, they're not in a position to do anything but get $15 million off the book.
And they can't even afford to push money back no more because they'd be in a worse situation in a better cap situation.
But the cap is a lie. That's what Marcus Spears said on TV yesterday. I like the big swagger.
I like him too, man.
But that's just such an uninformed thing to say. And I thought Mina Kimes kind of slapped back at him effectively when she's like, ask the Falcons if the cap's a lie. Because if the cap wasn't a lie, we wouldn't be talking about Julio Jones going anywhere.
No, we would not.
If the money was all just total fiction here, we were all just Uncle Pennybags from Monopoly out here,
then it'd be something different. No. That the cap is not a lie. And to your point though about sports TV, somebody had to take a stance. The cap is not a lie at all. And I hear a lot of people say this type of stuff. Ask team that's continually trying to build or teams that never get high-profile free agents. Like, the cap is not a lie, man. You got to plan this out. I ain't going to say I guarantee you because it's a hard take to make, but I don't think we'll see moves the way the Titans made this offseason in the next 3 to 4 years. I don't think they'll make and spend this type of money moving forward for a while because when you spend that type of money, you got to be set for a while before you reset your team again. Like, this isn't going to happen anytime soon. And case in point, look at the way the Saints have operated. Look in the way Atlanta has operated. Truth be told, that's the reason Tampa Bay did what they did this year.
That's right.
They had to.
That's exactly right. There are teams where the bill is finally coming due, where you had just done this and done this and done this, and you're about to be in a world of hurt. Pittsburgh's kind of one of them.
They are one of them.
The Saints is the prime example of it. And there have been a few that have already had it hit. The Rams have kind of had some issues.
That's what I was going to say next.
Big issues.
They got to mortgage out first-round draft picks, Jay.
The team that did this the best is Buffalo because Buffalo is fully formed right now.
Yeah, they are.
Now, they're about to have to pay Josh Allen, so they're going to have to take it away. This is the year where, in an ideal situation, if you're Buffalo's brain trust, you cash in this year.
What's their
You
odds?
win the Super Bowl this year.
Do you have it?
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay,
They're probably top 5, top
5?
6, somewhere in there. They've got a shot. I'd still say they're the second best team in the AFC behind Kansas City. And it's them in Cleveland are the other two I look at right now.
About Cleveland. Cleveland, even mentioning that to me is mind-blowing. Like, after over 20 years, you finally decided to play ball with everybody else. I won't forgive Cleveland for that. I hate when teams and organizations do that. At some point, though, will Detroit get to that point?
No, they always.
Not
Look who they
not
hired.
Not with kneecap eater
He's
out
talking
here.
about eating kneecaps.
No.
He wants a live lion on the field.
They don't. Their wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Dreadful. You want to talk about the Titans needing a receiver? The Lions have T.J. Hawkinson and Ballin Ali.
Ballin Ali.
Jiminy.
Jiminy.
Yeah, crickets.
Speaking of wide receiver room, though, and that whole audio of what AJ had to say to Julio's
vibe with me,
DM,
bro.
Come vibe with me, bro.
Come vibe with me, bro.
There it is.
In that video, Titans fans, he kind of disclosed how he felt and thought. He said, we need a couple more weapons. You want to win, but he also acknowledges there are some moves that still got to be made on this team. Like, yeah.
Meaning Julio doesn't put you in the Super Bowl by himself, is what you're saying. We'll talk about it on the other side. We'll keep rapping about it. 615-737-1045. Also, if you have thoughts on the Preds, we'll continue to take that. We're loaded for bear in terms of guests. Once we get into the second hour, now is a chance to jump in. 737-1045 on Twitter, at JMart and Ramon. We'll be right back here on 104.5 The Zone.
Come vibe with me, bro.
We have a face for radio. Just you wait and see. Live on Twitch right now. 104.5 The Zone TV at 1045thezone.com.
Hey, it's JMart, Mortgage Investors Group. Super excited to get you into your dream home. They are in business to help home buyers like you and your family affordably achieve the dream of home ownership with the Home Court Advantage. This great advantage allows you to get into that dream home with less money out of your pocket. So that's a dream in itself, less money. Dream house and dream payment. Home buyers provided with an exclusive 15-year fixed rate second mortgage of $7,500. That helps you in a lot of ways. It's going to help with your prepaid, your closing costs, your down payment. In some cases, it even helps you with a portion of your insurance costs. And we talk a lot when we talk about Mortgage Investors Group and you, especially if you were a first-time home buyer, because I just feel like you cannot find better service, people that are going to take you through this process with more care and more determination in the same way to make sure that you're educated and also get you to that finish line than my friends at Mortgage Investors Group. But if it's your fifth house, move-up buyers may also be eligible. Learn more about the Home Court Advantage program at migonline.com. Mortgage Investors Group committed to helping Tennesseans fulfill their dreams, your dreams, of home ownership. Let them go to work for you. migonline.com, again, is the website. That'll show you where all the offices are located, and you can visit the one that is closest to you. Or you can text MIG to 31399 today to get pre-qualified. Pre-qualification, that's how you get ahead of everybody else. That's how you get into that dream home. So pre-qualification plus home court advantage equals a big-time smile on you and your family's face, and it's because of Mortgage Investors Group. Equal housing lender, license number 109111.
Due to a shortage of new and used vehicles, prices are much higher than they were just a year ago. Some may even tell you now is not the time to buy a vehicle. But at Music City Autoplex, they have actively
Right to the studio.
I got no baseball this weekend. I can sleep in on Saturday morning.
I should have said 3.
I'll sacrifice this one.
3 tickets there, Shafe.
3.
That is a demerit.
I tried to fix it, and you know what? Nope, 2. 2.
That is a demerit.
I'm going to give you a whoop ticket since you gave me a demerit.
That is a demerit.
2 tickets to the Preds game, 1 on yo.
There's your 3, you thought.
Oh, here we go. It is Wednesday now, effectively. That's why we need Inky at the end of the show.
Come buy out with me, bro.
Dude, if we do this show 30 years, I feel like we're still going to be playing that in 30 years.
Come buy out with me, bro.
Between that and the sneeze,
Robert in Laverne is up on the line. Robert, what's up?
What's up, Rob?
Hey, real quick, I'm driving in the hills, so I might lose you, but I do not think that the Buffalo Bills are stacked. The thing that killed them last year was they don't have a running game. They should have went after Leonard Fournette. Could you imagine the Buffalo Bills if they had Derrick Henry or somebody like that? I think they would be unstoppable.
Well, I mean, you could have a better running game, but they have about as stacked a roster as you can have with a salary cap that exists. Like, they built it to the point where they didn't have very much left to be able to do anything with. They brought in Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Most teams don't have both, right?
No.
There are a few.
You're not going to have everything.
No, you can't have everything.
And in this world of NFL offenses, again, I know what the Titans have, and Derrick Henry it doesn't happen at all.
No, it does not.
But if you have a serviceable running back, you can do a lot with that. Who did Tampa have this past year?
Also, you have a running back at your quarterback
position. That's what
position.
I'm saying. Like, you're able to move the chains as much as you need.
Look, they averaged 107 rushing yards a game last year.
Over 100. That's winning to me.
Well,
I know that's quarterback runs too.
It's about 19th in the
offense.
NFL. You'd like to be in the 12 to 15 range ultimately, right? But look at the teams above them, the Giants, the Chargers, the Cowboys. None of these teams did a whole lot last year. Kansas City is right there. Kansas City's barely in the top 15 in rushing.
Mm-hmm. Matt Breida, Tywan Jones, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, Christian Wade, Antonio Williams. I mean, not a whole lot, but the way that offense is designed to move the play action, outside the pocket stuff, the stud that Josh Allen has turned into.
Yeah, see, Matt Moon just said on YouTube, Josh Allen eventually crashes back down to earth. I don't think so. I mean, why would he?
He's in a soft AFC East.
He's got a good coordinator in Dable who's stuck around. Last I checked, he's still got Stephon Diggs, who, if he's not number one, he's right around number one in terms of the receiver you want in the NFL.
In the words, in the world of legit young quarterbacks, he's leading the charge. Him, Lamar, and his, as special as he is, Justin Herbert. Whenever Deshaun gets on the field, Patrick Mahomes, like, they're your 5 right there. Who am I missing? I'm missing one, ain't I?
Are we just talking about the AFC right now?
No, we're just, who we missing on the NFC?
Are we talking about young
this new
Maybe
wave
Kyler,
after Dak?
Maybe Kyler. If he takes the next step this year. I think the bigger question isn't, is Josh Allen going to fall apart? It's who is this year's Josh Allen? It's who's the guy that's coming out of nowhere this year. Is it Burrow? Is Burrow and Jamar Chase going to become a thing relatively fast? Is it one of these rookies?
If it's a rookie this year, I'd
Is
love
it
to
Trey
see what
Lance
Trey
in
Lance.
San Francisco?
I would love to see what he's going to do in that offense.
Joe Burrow could be the next guy.
I tend
but
to
it
think
might
that's
not
possible
be
too.
this year. Maybe the following year. It might be year 3.
Well, he said yesterday, 85% he feels that's where he is on his health
knee.
right now. Yeah,
it could be Burrow who takes that lead.
It could be Burrow who takes it. The thing is his protection on that offensive line. And I like Joe Mixon back there. The wide receivers are so. The defense.
Well, now
is
you got
something.
Chase.
I mean, yeah, you got Chase
You have
too.
what, Higgins?
Higgins, yeah.
Still need to have time to throw.
By
to
the
them.
way, somebody we're not talking about who's a free agent still, who would be good in this system, Geno Atkins is still out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Geno played down because he was on a bad team. If you want to talk about a move to be made, I know we're talking about defense. We need more offensive players here. Geno Atkins is a hell of a player, man, and I'm saying this from experience, and I think he got something left in the tank. But
let's go to the artist. Tony the Stud.
Tony the Stud.
In Hermitage. What's up, Tony?
No artist, man. Good morning, guys. Shout out Cousin Mike. Shout out Mr. Caples. I told y'all I'd give you a shout out this morning.
How about that? The listeners giving shout outs to each other. That's beautiful.
Hey, you know, the early risers are the crew, bro. The early risers are the crew.
Come vibe with us, bro.
Come vibe.
Come vibe with me, bro. Cousin Mike, come vibe with me, bro.
I love
Hey, Mr. Caples, come vibe with me, bro. You know what it is? Come
Vibe with me, bro.
Hey, man, I was just, you know, I've been kind of doing a little bit of this, you know, looking at this Shannon Sharp deal. This is a terrible situation for Fox. If I'm a you know, a fan of that sports network. Here's the thing about Undisputed. I used to watch, you know, Skip Bayless used to be one of my favorite people when he was with Stephen A. before I started to not really like Stephen A. that much. And, you know, they used to have a really good show together, but when they split up and, you know, Max Kellerman came in and then, you know, you got Shannon Sharp with Skip Bayless, you know, Skip's making 5.5 to Shannon Sharp's 1.9, and Shannon Sharp's contract on Undisputed is over in July. You know, so part of that starts to think, well, there's been rumors about, well, you know, in the TV world, where Shannon Sharp's going to work next. He's ultimately the next free agent of the TV broadcasting world in July. And I just wonder if any of that from, you know, the last couple of days with, you know, this whole deal with Julio Jones has been some type of stretch or outreach to get more publicity on his name, because let's just be honest, Undisputed is not 104.5 The Zone. It's a TV show designed to, I believe, capture an audience no matter whatever it is that you say. Sometimes you may feel a certain way, but you might think a different way, but you really want to put that on the TV to catch an audience. I'd like to get y'all's thoughts on that.
Yeah, Tony, I'll tell you what. We'll get to break because we're near the top of the hour. Michael McCarthy at Front Office Sports just put up a piece that I literally just saw. He put it up 2 minutes ago. And it's basically saying Falcons and the agency that represents receiver Julio Jones are furious at Fox. It's involved the talent. It's involved CAA now. There are 4 different sides to this deal. And the Falcons are irate because they feel like it's undercut their negotiating deal. So there's massive issues right now in Front Office Sports. So as I said off the top, Moan, I was starting to go on your side. Ain't looking good at all for Fox right now. Like, this is bad. We've had McCarthy on the show before. I'm going to try and, like, go through this during the break so we can talk more about it. But it ain't good. Not good at all.
Iffy, Jack.
615-737-1045. We're loaded for bear with guests coming up. Plus, about 25 minutes from right now, your chance to win a pair of tickets to Game 6 at the Stone. It's JMart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone.
Buck Rising is the local Titans know-it-all guy. The Buck Rising Show. Today, starting at 10 a.m. on 104.5 The Zone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no doubt about it.
But it's a must-win.
Is it? Definitely a must.
Well,
win.
I mean, that's a fact. Like, that's not an opinion.
You rather get it over with, considering the home teams seem to always win, or you won't get? We always want Game 7. What kind of question?
What do you mean?
Am
I ready to get it over
we
with?
always want Game 7.
What the hell are you talking about?
You picked the Canes.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Why are you deflecting on this?
That is a demerit.
I don't root for my pick to be right.
You just talked yourself into a corner, Ramon.
I did.
I mean, I'm a Penguins
I'm
fan,
backing
but
up.
that could be a problem
I'm
tonight
backing up.
too.
I'm
I want
backing
to talk
up.
about that.
I'm backing
I know
up.
we're all sort of not wanting to talk about the Pens.
I'm backing up.
Okay, so I want to read this. Did I lose it?
Before you get to that, Ramon, hey man,
Come by with me, bro.
For real,
Bug.
come on man,
for real.
vibe with me.
Come
Come by with me, bro.
All right, so I'm going to read this from Mike McCarthy's article at Front Office Sports
In reference
from
to
just a couple minutes ago. Julio Jones and the situation yesterday, or 2 days ago, I should say, on Fox Sports. This is lengthy, but it's worth it. The fallout could just be starting for Fox, and you can kind of react to this like it's a sports play if you want to, Mo.
By the way, Mike McCarthy will join us tomorrow to talk
I knew
more
he
about
would.
this.
That's what a great producer does.
That's what you do.
The fallout could just be starting for Fox, which recently agreed to pay over $2 billion a year for 11 seasons to retain its Sunday afternoon NFL TV package. Among potential consequences for Fox, NFL has its way of handling its TV partners. Falcons could quietly seek an on-air apology or some other redress from Fox. If not forthcoming, Fox could end up in the doghouse among the league's TV partners, which include NBC, CBS, and ESPN. That could mean less access and cooperation from the team and other NFL clubs, or worst-case scenario, bad blood could lead to poor game matchups. And then he goes into the Frontline special about concussions years ago and how that cost ESPN and got John Skipper into trouble because they backed the project, and the NFL was certainly on the other side of that issue, especially at that point in time. Even though ESPN then paid the most among the league's NFL TV, Monday Night Football annually got the worst game matchups about as soon as that happened.
Detroit versus Minnesota.
That's the one. That's one of them. FS1's Undisputed is produced out of Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles. California is a two-party consent state. Remember I said that yesterday, which is why I'm like, how in the world is this? How do you let this go on air if you're the producer because of that alone?
Them in Florida, right? I think are the two you can't do that in.
Shannon Sharp could face a misdemeanor charge for violation of California Penal Code 632, which we actually read that statute yesterday. There'd have to be a complaint filed. Particular misdemeanor carries up to a $2,000 fine and or a year in jail. So it's not going to be that bad.
Right.
It meets every criteria under the penal code, according to a criminal defense attorney they reached out to. It'll come down to if Jones wants to pursue it. I doubt he will. No complaint has been filed. Now, here's to your point yesterday, Mo. Fox fallout. Publicity-wise, Sharp's Jones get was a triumph for Undisputed. Generated massive free media coverage, even ESPN credited Undisputed. Sharp's in negotiations right now for a contract extension. Interview highlighted his influence and access to today's star. Skip, yesterday on Twitter, I didn't even know this because I don't follow Skip.
I don't follow Skip. I thought
Bayless
somebody else
spiked the ball, called Undisputed the hottest sports show on TV. You never know what might happen, he crowed on Twitter. But the controversial incident, now we get to more of my point.
Yeah.
The controversial incident also raises questions how and why Fox producers let Sharp conduct an interview that could not only put the network in hot water with their most important business partner, but legal jeopardy as well. One source says it was creative and organic, but it was unprofessional. You have to tell someone they're on TV and not just at the end of the segment to CYA. The interview follows the embarrassment in April where Kevin Durant called out Sharp for repeating a fake quote on air from Twitter that he never actually said. And then here's the money at the end. Quote, "This is on the production team. The producers have to do their job. Their job is to protect Shannon and Skip. When something like this happens, you go to a commercial and figure it out before they get in trouble," unquote.
You had points. I had points. Point is, Shannon was wrong. When you start seeing athletes, and I say that, I know how people view athletes, though, but when you start seeing athletes saying, hey, whoa, what are you doing? That's when you know something's completely wrong. If it was staged, beautiful. Like, they played it off well. At the end, what's the female host name again?
Jitty Taft.
Jitty Taft. Her. I don't know if she hadn't have said, does he know he's live? It may have gone off better. But those points, this is the reason why we go off in the offseason. This is why from February after the Super Bowl to free agency, why we were, I ain't gonna say we were pissed, but the season of lies is a thing.
Season of lies, season of content, season of controversy.
The antics grow and grow and grow. And I've seen people, like I told you, I've talked to people, and I know you have too, Jay and Shafe, who are in this world. When those TV networks decide like you got to start negotiating stuff, they start to find stuff. You become more controversial. You make yourself more known. You make yourself more valuable by having hot takes. And that's one thing as athletes who get on TV, get on radio, got to find ourselves being better at. You got to be better at doing this stuff or knowing how to go about doing these things. Like Skip is a guy who can say something, get the world on fire, but he knows there's a line. He knows, like Shannon yesterday tried to pull a card to show, look, if y'all want to know an answer, I got the answer.
Well, he knows there's a line until he talks about Dak's brother.
Yeah.
That suicide deal where he had to apologize after the fact.
Or KD.
Right.
Or Matt Moon put the post in there where he was talking about Deshaun saying, like, we know who your source was. It was Deshaun saying those things.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just, it's too obvious in how you go about it.
Mm-hmm.
And this sucks. Again, everybody that I know that knew Julio are saying the same thing. This ain't how he rolls. So because that you put this man in a bad situation, we brought this up yesterday too about the Falcons. They lost leverage. When we spoke about what happened with Antonio Brown or even Jalen Ramsey and with the Jaguars, like he was trying to find his way out. You had to do that. Yes, who was it? The Rams had to pay a king's ransom for him still, but he got his way up out of Jacksonville. These are the things that are happening right now, and should have went to Cabo the same way Matthew Stafford did. Okay, like that's if you want to negotiate to get yourself out, go to Cabo. Like to do it through an analyst like Skip, like come on, man, it's just not great, Bob.
No, but
keeping it real goes wrong.
The quote that McCarthy opens his piece at Front Office Sports says that one source inside the NFL says this is a quote massive stink bomb unquote. So the NFL is pissed. The Falcons are pissed. CAA is pissed.
The agency.
Everybody's pissed. And, I mean, at the same time, Julio threw shade without meaning to throw shade. He threw shade at an organization that he had been super professional with his entire career.
You mentioned the owner and him have a really good relationship.
Everybody has a good relationship, but that was the whole point. And then he threw shade at the Cowboys because the whole reason for this deal was so Shannon could take a dig at the Cowboys because Skip's in the tank for the Cowboys. It was all kind of like, I just want you to hear from the horse's mouth that nobody wants to go to Dallas. It's kind of like the underlying sort of joke that was part of this whole deal. The whole thing is just stupid. And at this point in time, like, if you're Fox, do you need Shannon Sharpe? Because I think the answer is no, and I don't think it's ever been yes. That's the other part of this is that show is Skip and whoever else is in the seat. Because Skip's the one that ignites the world, usually on a negative deal, but he does have a little bit of that I want to see what he has to say effect. That's why he's making millions and millions of dollars to tell you. I can tell you what he's going to say today before he even goes on the air.
If there was a person,
LeBron could have been better last night.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is a jerk. Dallas Cowboys are going to win the NFL. Dallas Cowboys or Bill Belichick are going to win everything.
Yep. And to that point, though, about Skip being, we're all replaceable. Let's just throw that out there in some sense.
Yeah.
But Emmanuel Acho, he's right there waiting.
Dude, there are a lot of people that are right there. Richard Marx could just write a song about the number of NFL players that could just step right into that role.
Oh, my God. When keeping it real goes wrong, which is why when you do this hot take stuff, you point and you call folks out and you do that, like, you better be ready to answer the toll when it comes. Like,
the problem is, I mean, the other thing about Shannon is he's just not very good. Like, when you look at guys that are talented in this business, I look at Ryan Clark, and I look at Lewis Riddick, and I look at there's a lot of very talented people that do this. Shannon's on the bottom end of that totem pole compared to a lot. There are a lot of other people, even that work at Fox, that you could put into that.
Like I said, Emmanuel Acho's made a name for himself. Like,
and he's new on the scene.
He's new on the scene. We mentioned this yesterday too. Like, and I hate to be pro team, but in the business world, you got to have both sides. Like when I'm negotiating, there's a team side also, okay? And then there's a part in the middle where you kind of meet yourself. What you don't want to happen is to screw one side out, and the Falcons got screwed. And I know everybody's like, screw that team, let Julio do his thing, but in the world of good faith, when Julio's had a great relationship with them, they screwed the Falcons yesterday.
Oh,
I mean, the other day. What was it? Monday.
Yeah,
Monday.
Absolutely. When we come back, Bill Bender of the Sporting News. They've put out a top 25 in college football, also 5 that could crash the college football playoff party. We'll talk to him about all those things. Plus, I think he has comments on Aaron Rodgers also, which is a topic we haven't even gotten to yet.
Still.
Haven't even had time.
We'll get there.
Be right back. JMart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone.
There's never an off season.
Here we go.
The Titans play on 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, it's JMart. Have you looked under your house recently? I don't know if you're crawling underneath your house or not, but there are problems under there. There could be. If you're like most homeowners, I know I haven't been doing that. You probably haven't. But guess what? If you've got a crawl space, you might have standing water in that crawl space. Over time, that can wreak serious havoc on your floors, on your walls, even on your indoor air quality. We talk about that musty air and stuff that's just not really cool to breathe at all. But there is a solution, and it is Lee Company. A crawl space encapsulation, a process that removes the moisture from under your house and then keeps it out. Lee Company professionals are trained. This isn't just something they're just doing. They're trained and experienced in expert crawl space encapsulation. I want you to give them a call today to find out how they can help you protect your home investment. All these repairs and stuff just end up more costly. So it's all about maintenance, right? And whatever it is that you're doing, maybe that initial move might be a little bit of a sting, but then after that, it's just about maintenance. So you've always got to have Lee Company on your side for everything that's going on in your home. That way, you just call them when you need them, but you've already got them there on the speed dial. From the crawl space on up, nobody does it like Lee Company. Call them today, 615-567-1000. That's 567-1000 or online at leecompany.com.
In any business or endeavor, it's hard to make it to the top. And once you do, staying at the top is so much harder. To be the best, the number one, the industry leader for over a decade is a loud and strong statement. At Genesis Diamonds, we are so honored that now for 11 years, we've been voted number one, best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring. Not 1 year or 5 years, but an unheard of 11 years. A resounding vote of confidence for which we are so thankful. We're proud to be recognized as an industry leader, not just here, but across America, for providing our guests with an unparalleled selection, uncompromising quality, unrivaled customer care, unmatched warranties, and unbeatable value. And at Genesis, being at the top is never good enough. We refuse to be complacent. We challenge ourselves every day to be just a little bit better. It's our passion, our obligation, our commitment. Genesis Diamonds, always ready to assist you in celebrating your special moments. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Hey, it's Mickey Ryan. I give All American Pest Control 5 stars. Every team member that's ever come to my house from those guys is well-trained and professional and friendly and really helpful. They show up on time. They provide thorough treatment. And I love that if pesky critters show up in between services, all I have to do is call. All American will come back in between visits for no additional charge. I get quarterly pest control, mosquito treatments, and termite protection. It's all a great value. So go to yuckbugs.com today. Tell them Mickey sent you.
Are you ready to kick off summer? So are we. Come to the official Memorial Day weekend rooftop opening party at City Tap in downtown Nashville on Sunday, May 30th. All the excitement starts at 3 p.m., featuring the refreshing Yazoo Kella IPA and Hefeweizen. You don't want to miss the live DJ or Yazoo raffles and giveaways. Best part? No entry fee. With Yazoo as the official sponsor, you know you're in for a great time. Join us Sunday, May 30th on the rooftop of City Tap on 3rd Avenue in downtown Nashville.
If you are thinking about selling your home, oh wow, now is the time. This is Dawn Davenport, and I'm here to tell you that you can get a strong cash offer and sell your home stress-free with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Don't worry about the hassle of constant cleaning and home maintenance. Just sell your home with Mark Spain today. Go to markspain.com, fill out a quick form, receive an all-cash offer on your home today. There's no obligation. Their guaranteed offer allows you to bypass the market and sell your home hassle-free with no showings, no open houses, no stress. Choose when you want to move and close with confidence. The Wall Street Journal named Mark Spain Real Estate #1 real estate team in the U.S. for closed transactions. It's that simple. The Mark Spain Real Estate guaranteed offer keeps you in control with no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing or call 855-299-SOLD.
Welcome to Twin Spires Sportsbook. As a Zone listener, you can unlock a risk-free bet up to $1,000 for signing up with Twin Spires. Just use promo code FREE1000 and you can bet the Kentucky Derby of sportsbooks right from your phone. Playoff basketball, golf majors, baseball, and more. Twin Spires Sportsbook. Download the app and bet today. Void where prohibited. For terms and conditions, visit twinspires.com. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Tennessee to bet. For help with a gambling problem, call or text the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Fox tonight. It's a night of celebration and shocking reveals.
You are a mega star.
As the final 3 Masked Singers are unmasked and the winner is crowned.
The Masked Singer finale!
Then, can America's best bakers piece together what dessert was made in this kitchen?
Cinnamon, powdered sugar.
Then bake a gourmet version of their own.
This is delicious.
But did you make the right dessert?
Joel McHale hosts Crime Scene Kitchen, premiering after the Masked Singer finale. Fox tonight.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Is your company hiring? We can help. Invest in your workplace at tnjobfair.com.
The Memorial Day sale is here. 50 to 70% off almost everything. Plus, flip-flops from $4, tees from $8, dresses from $12, and more summer-style deals. Shop it all through May 31st at Gap Factory or gapfactory.com.
From the 104.5 The Zone Traffic Center.
South, Harding Place at Tampa Drive, we've got a crash being cleared. No problems coming in on 65 or 40. No unusual delays on 24 or 440. 840 running accident-free. A reminder, if you're heading to Memphis or further west, 40 Bridge over the Mississippi remains closed due to damage. Use 55 as your alternate. I'm Christy O'Brien with traffic on your home for Titans football. 104.5 The Zone.
Good Lord, man. I'm just looking at the closed captioning up on the screen. Marcus Spears is like, Julio Jones needs to be in Atlanta. Atlanta needs Julio Jones, saying the Caps a lie, and they've just got to keep him. Good Lord, man.
I like Marcus Spears.
You stupid idiot.
But this ain't it, man. And the thing
not
as,
it, Chief.
As a former player, he got to know this is a real thing. Like, okay, so for the people who need understanding why they say the cap is a lie, this is why. Because when it's time for them to sign the guy, they'll make room.
Yeah, you manipulate, you move a bunch of stuff around and all of this kind of thing. But eventually, all of that will sink your entire franchise.
You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like, this is why you look at it.
Short-term gain, long-term pain.
Thank you, man. You're going to have to pay those bills. Like, there's Troy Polamalu, for instance. He was on the Steelers books for like 4 years after he was done. 4 years.
I just want to say Bobby Bonilla and then just move on. I know it's totally different, but
no,
any chance you get to mention Bobby Bonilla still making money from the Mets is worth mentioning. By the way,
soon, right?
So Game 6 is tomorrow. Puck drop is 8:30 at the Stone. Ooh. Must win for the Predators now that they're down 3-2. If you want to be there, be caller number 5 right now to Jonathan Schaefer.
All of 5, baby.
615-737-1045. 737-1045. Caller 5 will be at the Stone to cheer on the good guys against the Hurricanes tomorrow. We welcome in our good friend Bill Bender of the Sporting News. Bill, what's going on this morning?
Hey, not much, guys. How are you?
Doing well. So you got the correct answer to which is the best Ninja Turtle. I just wanted to say that before we even went. I'm pretty sure at least because the color is a little off, but Donatello's who you picked, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
He's the smartest one and the least drama. So, I mean, obviously, you've got one of those guys in your locker room, you're going to be all right.
Yeah, exactly. Not a diva, and the Bo. I've always a big fan of the Bo staff. On top of that as well, so I'm glad that there's intelligent conversation to be had on this radio station this morning. I appreciate that. So you put out a top 25, the Sporting News did, and you put out a top 5 party crashers. The thing that Moan said during the break, we could start here. He said, "Oh wow, you guys have Iowa State ranked awfully high."
We do. Most sites will, and I think they have everybody back, though. It's going to be the highest they've ever been ranked. They're 1-3 against Iowa, for example, and that'll be an early season game on the schedule. But when you bring back Brock Purdy, Breece Hall, Charlie Kohler, Mike Rose, all of those guys bypass the NFL to come back, that means that the culture's intact. Matt Campbell's built something special. We've seen them beat Oklahoma twice. Now, can they do it twice in the same season? I think that's the big stretch. But as far as, those kind of sleeper it teams, they're certainly it this offseason.
Another team that is in your party crashers list is North Carolina. And I imagine a lot of that has to do with Sam Howell and just what he can be as a junior quarterback that might be, I don't know if this ends up being that, but might be, he could be the first quarterback taken in the draft, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a good chance that happens. Obviously, they lost a lot. They lost both running backs to the NFL. They lost Chaz Surratt, the star linebacker. They have holes to fill. But, when you have Sam Howell and some of the talent that they've brought in recruiting, some people are going to say that maybe Miami's ready to challenge Clemson for the ACC out of the Coastal. But Miami has to play Alabama early, and their schedule's pretty tough. I think North Carolina might be that team. And remember, a couple of years ago, with Howell as a freshman, they took Clemson down to the last play and went for 2 to win. And so I think that could be the year. This could be the year where maybe they get to the ACC championship game. And let me be clear, all of these teams that we put on there, it's going to be tough for them to clear the big hurdles in their conference. They're just, as far as if you're looking for fresh blood, though, these might be the best bets.
So that's the question I got for you too. Is the ACC side of college football? It's just been Clemson, a couple other teams that get sprinkled in. You hope for Miami, but this North Carolina team, what's driving them to the forefront right now? And they've had a wave before of putting guys into the league and having this type of excitement surrounding them. But for a basketball school that is known for football is taking the front seat right now.
Yeah, and I think some of it is Max doing what he did the first time around. I always tell people, when you look at the end of his first tenure in Chapel Hill, it was in the late 90s. I mean, there's a bunch of NFL guys they produced. Dre Bly, Bonnie Holiday, Julius Peppers, and Dre Bly, and you can go on and on. It's what he's doing now. I mean, they had a strong class go to the NFL draft. He's recruited well the last 2 cycles, and when he took that job, he told us, he was going to try to make North Carolina the place to be, and that's what he's done so far. So it's still going to take time, though, because Clemson has such an advantage on everybody else in the ACC from a talent standpoint, and that's going to continue. I think Clemson's on the spot a little bit, as I wrote in that capsule, that they've lost back-to-back playoff games pretty handily, and that young defense is going to have to be better this year. And obviously, they lose Trevor Lawrence. I think I'm not going to say they're going to take a dip or anything like that, but they're on the spot as a program, I think.
Is it? I think I just looked at this. Cincinnati's the only Group of 5 team in this 25. Am I right about that?
I'm pretty sure that's correct. No, Coastal Carolina is in there.
Okay, I didn't see him.
And Army is an independent, but Cincinnati's interesting to me because they're the school that you use that phrase, unless this happens, and Cincinnati probably won't make the playoff unless they go undefeated, which would force the conversation. Because they play Notre Dame, because they play Indiana, because they showed against Georgia in the Peach Bowl that they can hang, and they've got a veteran quarterback, good offensive line, good defense, and Luke Fickell continues to recruit Ohio well. So Cincinnati's not going anywhere. He's got a really good program there.
When it comes to the group of 6, and we know who they are: Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Notre Dame. The team that it seems that's can compete with them moving up soon is Texas A&M. With what they got going on, I know they lost a few guys to the draft this year, but who's going to break up that group, man? Because they have a strong hold on all of college football, from recruiting to play to the playoffs. Like, who's going to break down that shield that they have up?
I mean, A&M's got a lot of talent, but those 6 schools you mentioned in the top 6 in our top 25, they've combined for 23 of 28 playoff appearances. So, and that's with Georgia just with 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes some work to catch them through recruiting and to build up enough talent to go out there. I mean, LSU did it for 1 year, but they did it with a historic class of talent. So Texas A&M, you got to like talent on the roster. They've still Jimbo's doing a good job of getting that through the recruiting and recruiting in Texas well and outside of Texas well, quite frankly. And remember, he did this at Florida State, in the NFL roster at Florida State, before things kind of fell apart after Jameis left. The big hurdle for them will be beating Alabama, though. Can they beat them at Kyle Field? Of those SEC kind of contenders outside of Alabama, they do have the friendliest schedule. It's just a matter of, can they go 11-1? Can they maybe pull that upset against Alabama? And I think they are the SEC team best positioned to maybe jump into that top 6.
So, Bill Bender of Sporting News joining us here on JMart and Ramon. Bill, there's a team that I didn't see in this top 25. I just went through it 3 times just to make sure that I did not overlook it. Hopefully I didn't. Michigan is not in your top 25. Jim Harbaugh. If that's the case, this has to be his final year, right?
Well, I mean, they've got to prove it. And I don't know if I said this last year, the same thing. I don't know if there's a win total number you can assign to make him still be the coach. I mean, because it all revolves around the Ohio State thing. They could go 9-3 and beat Michigan State, but if they lose to Penn State, Wisconsin, and Ohio State, people are going to be saying the same thing. We don't have them in the top 25. They've got a lot of questions to answer, starting with the quarterback position. Now, if they end up Cade McNamara or J.J. McCarthy kind of solidifies that, they could sneak back into the top 25 and maybe make a run in the Big Ten East. But they're still so far behind Ohio State, and the national perception of Harbaugh is what it is. I don't know if he'll get fired, but I know that it's like Groundhog Day. We'll keep having the same conversation about him every year if he stays.
Oklahoma, Spencer Rattler. He's another one of those names. I mean, there's some quarterbacks certainly that we could talk about, but Oklahoma is always interesting to me because they're always right there in the mix. You talk about them in the mix. A lot of times they find their way into the college football playoff, and then they underperform once they get there. What's different about this Oklahoma team that could actually get them over the hump?
I think the defense has a couple pieces that they like, but, I mean, if the name of the game is offense, and that's what it is. I mean, the teams that have won the last couple of years just have the best offense that you can't stop. And Oklahoma has a pretty ridiculous accumulation of skill position talent. At receiver, guys like Mims and Weiss. At running back, and they added Gray, another guy, to a loaded room that has Kennedy Brooks. And then Rattler makes the offense go. So, and I think some of the confidence they'll get from beating Florida, and I know that was a Florida team that was missing a bunch of guys, but given the SEC beatdowns they had taken, I think Oklahoma is going to be playing with a lot of confidence. We have them 4. I won't be surprised if most publications have them like 2 or 1, and you're going to see that because of that talent that they have coming back. And Clemson, Alabama, and Ohio State are all replacing their quarterback, and that's something to keep in mind as we look at those top-heavy teams.
When we get to the quarterback play, though, speaking of just college football, because clearly that's what's driving these teams, as you said, with the offenses. So between Clemson, Alabama, I think Florida, there's a few other teams that have new quarterbacks behind center. Who are you feeling more confident about this year? Because a lot of these guys, they were highly recruited and have a whole lot of talent.
Well, Alabama, obviously. I mean, with Bryce Young, there's high expectations around him. He got to play a little bit last year, and when you have that much talent around you, it's hard not to succeed. I think DJ Uiagalelei, we saw him play at Clemson. We saw how good he could be. He played well even in the loss to Notre Dame, so they'll be fine. And then Ohio State has what LSU had 2 years ago, what Alabama had last year, and that's the deepest receiver room in the country. So when you have Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, those guys will probably both be first-round picks, and some of the younger guys behind them, Julian Fleming, Marvin Harrison Jr., and a couple others, they have the deepest receiver room in the country, so that's going to take a lot of the pressure off C.J. Stroud. I mean, that's been the game, right? Quarterback and defensive line and offensive line are always the first three things I look at. But I'm starting to look at receiver and what those schools have done, and that's become a lot more important with this game that's played in space now.
Two NFL teams interesting in the state of Ohio right now, Bill. I don't think we've talked to you since the draft. Were you on Team JMart or were you on Team Penny as it related to what Cincinnati needed most for Joe Burrow?
I mean, I thought Sewell was the better pick, but I understand why they took Jamar Chase, and they found some value with the offensive line later. I mean, there was a lot on my Twitter feed yesterday. There was a lot of pictures of Joe Burrow going around.
Yeah.
So they are excited with what they have there, and Jamar Chase gives them another skill position player, but they're definitely going to have to protect him. But overall, the Bengals had a pretty good draft, though, and they can continue to do that and see what happens. But they definitely need to continue to invest in that offensive line, because if he gets hit like that again, you know, that could be one of those things where it affects his entire career.
So I saw you tweet out this video of this guy doing a worm.
You mean Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. How much fun is Aaron having right now in Hawaii?
Doesn't he look retired right now? Like, are we sure he has not retired already?
I mean, I'm a Packers fan, so it's killing me, you know, this whole drama.
My bad.
So I tell people, like, I can give you the journalist spin, but as a fan, like, of the Packers, you're like, we've been through this before with Brett Favre. That was painful. I still think, though, that I know everybody's pointing toward June 1st and a possible trade, but to me it's either, okay, trade him now, or they could have a last dance with the team that they have, right? I mean, they brought back near everybody from last year's team except Corey Linsley, and maybe you give Aaron his wish after this year, but he's certainly having the time of his life. Maybe not like that guy doing the worm into the coconut tree. That guy looked like he had a few too many.
A few or a case or 2 cases. Like he definitely was living his best life.
He was.
At least during that 5 minutes. I bet the next several hours were not as good. So I don't want to add to the pain, but how do you think the Aaron Rodgers saga ends?
Well, if they do trade him, he'll end up in the AFC. I mean, Denver, we've seen them try that before. I think Vegas would be an interesting spot, and Green Bay's not going to want to trade him to another NFC contender. I mean, the difference with Jordan Love is, and I always go back to the Rodgers thing, is at least we'd seen Rodgers play before Favre left. You know, that Thursday night game against the Cowboys where Rodgers played really well in that game. And we'll see. But I still think there's a good chance that he comes back when he wants to. I don't think that – I mean, Ramon can tell you this. I mean, how many times in maybe not the NBA, but in the NFL, rarely, if ever, does the GM get fired because of the quarterback. So, I mean, the quarterback will get traded before the GM gets fired.
I've seen a coach get fired before the quarterback, never a GM, or it's a full overhaul. If they give Aaron this power, Bill, this is just going to be the start of Patrick Mahomes running the Chiefs and everybody else doing whatever they want to. I'm not saying doing whatever they want to.
Comes the Wild Wild West, man.
Yeah.
And I don't think that will happen. And that's why I'm thinking if they can mend a fence, agree. I mean, they're making a lot of comparisons to Jerry Krause. The worst part of that is, well, as a Packers fan, where are the other 5 championships?
Yeah, I was about to say, you got one Super Bowl out of that, Bill.
Yeah, that's not quite the same thing. So we'll see how it goes. But, I still think there's a way for him to come back. And, you know, that creates a very potentially radioactive season. But this is still a team. If he really wants to win a Super Bowl next year, the best place to have a chance to do that is Green Bay over Oakland, Las Vegas, or Denver for sure.
Can I ask you something real quick too? Supposedly from Schefter, none of the first team wide receivers showed up.
Yeah, that was cold-blooded, man.
Did Aaron have anything to do with that?
Maybe. I think, and it's creating a lot of drama, but Devontae, I mean, all of those guys have played together long enough that the OTAs, they are what they are, but it sends a message to the GM and to the brass at Green Bay that they've got to get this fixed and they've got to get some sort of communication going. And hopefully they do. I mean, for me, but I mean, if Aaron Rodgers gets traded again, I've been telling my 10-year-old son, I mean, been through this once, with Brett, the Packers are still going to be the Packers, and it's going to put an obscene amount of pressure on Jordan Love if they do.
Well, it seemed like in the other video I saw that Aaron Rodgers was slow dancing with Shailene Woodley on a shuffleboard court. So I don't know. Maybe he's not going to play anywhere. Maybe he's going to play on a Carnival cruise line now that the pandemic's over.
Well, yeah, you never know. So he's got a little bit more money and time than I do. I just try to get out and do yard work or get out to my kids' games when I'm done working.
Right.
So that's all I do.
Yeah, man, you're dancing on a cruise line is just watching Vigo the Carpathian and Ghostbusters too.
Yeah, that would be the best.
Yeah, Bill, man, you're the best. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Hey, no problem. Take care, guys.
Yeah, man, that's Bill Bender of the Sporting News.
I wish I could have called. I saw this type of stuff coming from Aaron, but our meetings are kind of sacred.
Remember the conversation that we had about anybody more petty in pro sports than Aaron Rodgers? If he called all the wide receivers and said, Jordan's going to be working with the third team, that might be the pettiest move I've ever seen in the history of sports.
What if he just offered them $1,000 not to show up? Like, I'd have taken it. I'm going to be real. Okay.
Glad you accepted that. 615-737-1045. We'll react to some of what we just chatted with Bill about when we come back here on 104.5 The Zone.
Coming up today with Buck Rising.
We will recap Game 5 with Lindsay Rowley of Valley Sports, and Will Compton will join us for our weekly Bussin' with Buck segment.
The Buck Rising Show. Today, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on 104.5 The Zone.
Guys, listen up. If you've been struggling with ED, I have great news for you. There's finally a treatment for ED that does not require pills, injections, or surgery. Hillside Medical Clinic. Andrew can tell you more about this medical breakthrough. Good morning, Andrew.
Hey, good morning to you. Yes, Hillside Medical really is changing the games. If you're struggling with erectile dysfunction, I bet you're sick of the pills. I bet you're sick of the side effects, the lack of spontaneity. We use at Hillside Medical the most advanced form of acoustic wave therapy. What this does is it uses pressure waves very gently to open up and regrow blood vessels. So it treats the actual root cause problem of ED. We've helped a lot of couples turn back the clock in the bedroom, get the blood flowing properly, and we do it without the pill.
This form of treatment's been studied extensively, proven to be extremely effective. And if you call Hillside Medical Clinic right now, a special offer that includes a free exam. Tell us more, Andrew.
Yes, most men with ED do nothing, and the relationship suffers. So we want to get rid of that stigma today, guys. Get your love life back. Take control. Call us now. We will do the assessment, the exam, the blood flow ultrasound at no charge, plus a little special gift that you'll love. It produces immediate results in the bedroom. It's a value of between $400 and $500, but if you call us right now, we'll do it totally free.
This is all you have to do. That is call Hillside Medical Clinic, 615-576-5000, 615-576-5000, 615-576-5000. Have a good day, Andrew.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, early risers, self-starters, and seasoned pros. Welcome to Thompson Machinery, your local cat dealer. With offers like 0% for 60 months, it's easy to stop by and stay a while at your home for cat compact equipment. Whether you're a business owner or contractor, buying or renting, at Thompson Machinery, it all starts with hello. Stop by today and ask about 0% for 60 months on select new cat compact equipment, or visit tmcat.com/bigtimesupport. Terms and conditions apply.
Gupton Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram not only sells great vehicles, they service them as well. Even if you didn't buy your vehicle at Gupton, you'll love their service department. Factory-trained specialists at Gupton offer competitive pricing on oil changes, batteries, brake services, new tires, tire rotation, and more. They do a multi-point inspection to make sure your vehicle is running smooth. This is Brent from 3HL. Do what I do. Have your vehicle serviced at Gupton. 3450 Tom Austin Highway, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Be sure to say Brent sent you.
At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we talk to men about sexual health issues all the time. And the one thing we hear often is how erectile dysfunction often makes bedroom performance both a disappointing and intimidating experience for a man and his partner. If you're over 50, what I just described could very well be happening to you. ED is a performance destroyer. It ruins your confidence and makes what should be a wonderful time of intimacy both stressful and unfulfilling. If this is a problem in your life, the Tennessee Men's Clinic can likely change your situation dramatically. And I say this with confidence because the Tennessee Men's Clinic has helped thousands of men with treatments that have success rates as high as 90%. In fact, many patients are performing like they haven't in years. So make an appointment today. For just $99, you'll get a consult, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Contact your doctor if an erection lasts more than 4 hours. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra, results vary.
Termites are swarming, mosquitoes are buzzing, and ants are biting. Yes, the signs of spring are all around us, and nothing will spoil outdoor fun more quickly than mosquitoes invading your yard. Fortunately, you can trust the experts at Arrow Exterminators to take back your yard and enjoy the great outdoors again. Schedule your free pest inspection and keep your barbecues pest-free this spring and summer. Call 888-GO-ARROW or visit arrowexterminators.com. That's 888-462-7769 or arrowexterminators.com.
BetMGM welcomes you to Showtime with a risk-free first bet up to $600. Simply sign up and use
twice.
Wow. Group and then solo?
Yep.
Nice.
Pam Grier, 72.
What?
Wow.
Ain't no. Whoa.
Pam Grier now older than Pam Cooking Spray.
Foxy, man.
Foxy Brown.
By the way,
Jackie Brown, too.
Ramon, do you know what group Stevie Nicks was in?
Stevie Nicks.
I was going to.
She was a backup singer for Stevie Wonder.
She was in Vogue, man.
She didn't make the song Shawty Swing My Way.
Come by with me, bro.
Hey.
It was Salt, Pepper, and Stevie. It's Fleetwood Mac.
Her and Queen Latifah were on tour together in 92.
I figured you forgot, Jason. I needed to ask.
Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah.
72 also.
Man, Foxy Brown still got me throwed off.
Bobcat Goldthwait, 59 years old. Zed from the Police Academy movies, voice of Mr. Floppy on Unhappily Ever After, which is when we all experienced Nikki Cox.
I don't know if that's a person or a thing. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Look at these degenerates in here, man.
Lenny Kravitz, 57.
Hey now.
Philip Michael Thomas, 72.
A lot of people 72.
That's Tubbs from Miami Vice.
Oh.
72?
I think it is, right? Philip Michael Thomas is
so,
Tubbs,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Helena Bonham Carter, 55.
Who?
You gonna ask the question, Jason?
What's your favorite Helena Bonham Carter movie?
Saving Private Ryan.
She's married to Tim Burton.
What
She's
was
in
he?
Fight Club. Tim Burton directed
Oh,
a bunch of stuff.
I thought that was
Nightmare
Indiana
Before
Jones.
Christmas and Batman, the original Batman.
Edward
Joseph
Scissorhands.
Fiennes is 51. What's your favorite Joseph Fiennes movie?
A Clockwork Orange.
That's the one. Brent Musburger is 82.
Hey,
We take you
Brett.
live.
I told you it was
Legend.
a long list.
It was. That's a legend right there.
Matt Stone is 50. Co-creator of South Park along with Trey Parker.
Okay.
And I saved a big one for the last.
Oh, wow. That's a big list already.
Lauren Hill, 46.
Oh, man.
Hey, now the miseducation.
Pam Grier and Lauren Hill on the same day.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Meant to be great.
It is pretty good.
I love this country.
I love it here.
Historical birthday of Miles Davis today.
Miles
One of the great
Davis?
jazz musicians of all time.
Hey,
He wasn't a very nice.
hey now.
No, he struggled in life, but his music, he was brilliant.
Yep.
Most artists do though.
Al
right?
Jolson, another famous jazz singer, would have been his birthday today. John Wayne would have been his birthday today.
Wow.
I'm telling you, man, there's a lot.
Cousin Danny in the barrel said he's so mad at me for that.
Mad about what?
My movie preference.
I mean, you
right
got
there.
them all wrong, so other than Pam Grier.
Yeah,
Keep
you are,
digging,
you
Mo.
are, you are consistently terrible, Moan.
Cousin Danny. Cousin Danny.
Hey, what band does Stevie Nicks? What band was Stevie Nicks in, Moan?
Stevie Nicks? You said Fleetwood Mac.
Okay, I just want to make sure you were paying attention. I
Hey,
want to
I'll
make sure
be-
you were
I'm-
listening to me
I'm
when I
pick-
talk.
I'm picking up what you putting down, man.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say we just asked that question 2 minutes
Well,
ago.
yeah, but why wouldn't I ask it again?
That's a
Hey, who
completely
were
fair
name
point.
me 2 of the 3 actors in Hocus Pocus, Moan?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
All right, that's 1.
Christina Applegate.
And we screwed up again.
And Betty White. Alone singing the soundtrack, Betty Wright.
David Beauclair joins us in 25 minutes. We'll talk to him about the Julio situation, also some Predator stuff, and we'll talk about Game 5. Went to overtime again. This one not in the favor of the home team, leading to a must-win tomorrow night at the Stone. We'll be right back. It's JMart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone.
Sometimes they just get down to business.
We got a little business here on the table.
Blaine and Mickey, this afternoon, 1 to 3 on 104.5 The Zone.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Cordell and Cordell Fair.
to get comfortable here because whatever's going to happen is not going to happen until the 2nd of June.
Yeah. That's next Thursday, I think, or next Wednesday. Next Wednesday or Thursday.
It's next week. It's a day next week. They all run together.
We're living.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Hump day. Going to be a big day for y'all, huh?
Chris Sims reports the Titans and the Patriots.
I hate Shay. No matter what you do on this air, he finds a way.
Oh, he got me
Don't
with
buy
that
it
one.
with me, bro.
Hey, I was waiting for that one.
That's my guy.
AJ Brown wants Julio.
Yeah.
Don't buy it with me, bro.
And so do I. Like, I want him here. It's going to be. It will be great if he's
It
here.
would.
It'd be so fun to go to camp and be around the team, and the national scene will pay a whole lot more attention.
That's what it does for you.
It does.
You
No
got
question.
a solid 1-2, no, or 1-1. 1A and 1B is what you got right there with Julio and AJ. It would be a good look.
You know who could care less about the national scene?
I could care less about Barkley's work.
I understand.
I kind of knew that was where that was going, but I bet you he'd be fine with Julio Jones coming
I
here.
don't think he'd have a problem with that.
I don't think he would either.
I think it comes down to this. Like, yes, is it going to cost you in the long term? Probably so. You're going to lose a guy or two that you maybe would be sad to lose. But if you believe in windows, if you think there's a window that could be created with Julio Jones, then you have to do it now because you can't. Well, we're going to try to win a Super Bowl in 5 years if you have a chance to win one this year.
Mm-hmm.
If you got Derrick Henry, then you're rolling on a running back that is one injury away from not being the same.
Or not.
And this is just not. It's not a position that has very much longevity attached to it. Generally, even though he's a unicorn and a cyborg, and he's basically Optimus Prime, outside of the original Transformers animated movie where he died.
If you haven't heard the audio of AJ, is one as funny as ever, but it shows a lot, tells a lot. Also, one, he's a humble dude. He's team first right now. You gotta love that for a guy who's slated to be wide receiver number 1 here, is wide receiver number 1 here, and inviting a guy that left him on red in those messages before. You can tell there was no response from Julio when he said he looked up to him and all that type of stuff, unless he erased it. But he sent him a voice memo this time and posted it on social media, just saying, hey, I want you here. I'll take a back seat for you if you get here.
Yo, Julio. Hey, man, check this out, man. Hey, you see the message above right here, bro. Come on, bro. Come vibe with me, bro. Hey, you know I'm good for it. You know all them talks we be having, you know what I'm saying? Bro, you know I'm good for it, bro. You know I got your back, bro. Like, trust me, bro. If you want to carry the load, you can carry it. But if you get tired, you know definitely, you know I'll carry you, bro. Another thing, you know I'm not giving my number up. I said I would. I tried to get number 1. They said I can't. So you're going to have to rock number 8. You already know all of this, but, hey, just come mess with your boy, man. Hey, real talk, man. Hey, we waiting on you over here. You say you want to win, right? We just need a couple more pieces. Hey, trust me. Hey, come vibe with me, man.
Come vibe with me. I'm keeping 11.
Vibe with me, man. Buck hates that. I know he hates it. Because of
Not a fan of that word.
Yeah, he's not a fan of the vibe right now. I don't know if he hates it. He just leans into the Predators using it.
Yeah.
AJ is really vibing. He's trying to vibe with one of his idols, one of his heroes, man.
Come vibe with me, bro.
So here's Michael Otto, okay? This is the question. There's a couple of different questions about the Julio topic that we can jump into. I love the way AJ's inflection right there is why I love it. It fits into every hip-hop beat in the background. It just works.
It does. I'm more of a fan of AJ now because of that audio right there.
Me too. Come vibe with me, bro. You will hear that on this show as long as we're on the air.
He put himself out there in that manner of man, you got a fan now, AJ, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, he even said, he even made that point months ago. It's like, oh, it's my idol. It was. That's who we wanted to be, was Julio.
Yeah.
And if you hear the audio, if you see that message where it's like, I want to be as good as you one day and all that kind of stuff, that's like a kid writing to a celebrity.
That's me trying to find Emmitt Smith's phone number when I'm 8 years old.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's me writing to Bill Murray when I was 10, literally. Quick change changed my life.
Yeah.
But Michael Otto on YouTube, watching 104.5 Zone TV, says, yes, we lost some talent on that side of the ball, but Julio doesn't make us a Super Bowl contender, so why waste the future money? That's the question.
That's the point.
Does Julio Jones win you a Super Bowl? In your own mind, is that the only piece that you need in order to do that? And here's the consideration for this. Kansas City's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo's still there.
Yes, sir.
Cleveland is still there.
I feel more scared about Cleveland in their running game than their pass game.
And one team that I would start to really pay real close attention to is the Los Angeles Chargers.
I was thinking.
We're probably a year away still. I think they're going to take strides this year, and then next year nobody's going to want any part of them.
No. And again, AJ acknowledged some stuff in that. Again, we mentioned this, I think, in the 6 o'clock hour. Number one, he's okay with him being here. And the other thing that he said was we still a couple pieces away. You want to win. The Titans are going to win. They've been winning the last 5 years, 5-6 years. The acknowledgement that they do need 1 or 2 more pieces coming from a player inside their locker room lets you know that be real about where you are. And again, to was Mike Otto's point on YouTube TV.
Is that former Titans offensive lineman Mike Otto?
No, that's Mike.
I don't think so.
So, Michael Otto.
In the small photo I see, he looks like maybe he has an offensive lineman's face.
What does that even mean?
Man, if there's Michael Otto on here, that's crazy. And then Matt Moon makes a heck of a point, too, from Emily Prout. If AJ goes down, who you got? You got to trust this process of what John.
You've got Derrick Henry.
You got Derrick Henry.
That's what you've got now anyway.
Josh Reynolds, the rookie, Des Fitzpatrick. It's the star power leaves. The threat leaves if AJ is down. And AJ's been a guy who's had to take some time or either come off the field a few times this year. And he had double knee surgery this offseason, so hopefully that's past him.
Michael Otto says, I tried to convince my students I was him. No one bought into it. So he does have a face like a lineman, but that's it.
But he say, I'm too good looking to be mistaken. Stop, Mike Otto.
Mike Otto's all.
Come buy it with me, bro.
Yeah, he's on that.
All of this, and we'll talk to David Beauclair about this in the next segment. Tannehill is the one to restructure. If Tannehill's willing to restructure, then you can find a way to make this work. But ultimately, again, I know AJ's putting on this hardcore pressure, right? It's basically legal tampering right in front of everybody's eyes. And Julio's intentions are out there now, thanks to Shannon Sharp. And we know he's out. It's going to be whoever the best deal is. He said New England and Tennessee. If New England offers more, he'll go there. Because it's not his choice. This isn't like J.J. Watt picking the Cardinals. This isn't a situation like that. The Falcons are the ones that control this whole deal. The Falcons are going to look for the best deal. They need to get him off of the books. But if somebody offers a 1, which I don't think will happen, matter of fact, I think I saw Teresa Walker say this yesterday, and I agree. If somebody had offered a 1, the deal would already be done.
Yeah. 2KBs, it makes a point. I think this is the point he's trying to make with this Julio thing. He's saying this Julio situation wouldn't even have come up for the Titans had they hit on Panda last year.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have needed Dylan Radins in the second round.
Yes. The old trickle-down effect.
Yeah, I mean, you blow it with a first-round draft pick, you've probably screwed yourself at a position of need, right? Whoever you take in the first round usually is the thing you need the most. We knew this year it was wide receiver and cornerback, but you blew Isaiah.
It's young.
It's young.
How about just quarterbacks in general?
But in recent history, the Isaiah thing is still hitting you in the mouth.
Well, it's going to be an albatross because you had to waste a draft pick.
On another
And I'm not saying waste because Radins could be very good, but you had to waste it on that position when you address that with your highest property draft pick a year before.
And
that's the breaks.
It was some good tools this year, too, as far as the second round wide receiver.
There were great ones. Elijah was still sitting there at the top of the second round.
I hate it, and you know why I hate it for so many different reasons. One, this kid's ruined his chances in the NFL. And then you ruin the organizations, which I know a lot of people screw the NFL, screw that team.
Agreed.
God.
David Beauclair, Sports Illustrated, joins us. We'll talk Julio. We'll talk what other pieces would need to happen, even if you were able to do that. There's a lot to get into with him. We'll talk about it next here on JMart and Ramon 104.5 The Zone.
Can't wait.
Insight, opinion, and expertise. Everything Middle Tennessee sports. It's 104.5 The Zone TV. Now on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope.
Hey, it's JMart. Next time you're at home, I want you to look around and see if some things look a little bit off. Doors and windows sticking, cracks in your bricks, your masonry. just not what it should be. Your Boeing basement wall, you weren't sure it was Boeing, but it just, every time you look at it, you just know it's off. Maybe the chimney's leaning a bit, your concrete's cracking. All of these could be signs of a possible foundation issue with your home. When it comes to foundation repair, nobody does it better than my friends at United Structural Systems. They've been serving Middle Tennessee for over 25 years. Integrity and reputation. Well, let's just say this. The Better Business Bureau gave them an A+ rating. So there's nothing better that you could do than to deal with a business that the Triple B appreciates to that degree. United Structural Systems also locally owned. They're not a franchise, which means you're helping out the community, but you're helping out somebody that can help you out. They can come out and actually see your home, understand it, and customize a solution for each homeowner, meaning you and your family, depending on your specific needs. United Structural Systems, they're going to give you a detailed free estimate before you ever have to make a decision. They'll come out, diagnose, tell you what's up, and tell you what it's going to cost. If you don't get it done now, it's just going to cost you more later. So you let them get to work, they finish that job, and then you once over with them. You walk it with them. They make sure you're fully satisfied. The very last step is you pay. So they do all the work before you have to pay a cent. So you can feel great about calling United Structural Systems. How do I know? Over 20,000 satisfied customers and counting. They'll tell you. Go ahead and call them. 615-227-2275. That's 227-2275. Or visit them online at ussTN.com, United Structural Systems.
Most shoppers today fall into one of two categories. You could be like Dave, who settles for nothing but the finest.
I drive only European luxury sedans, wear the finest Italian leather shoes. My shirts are custom made, and I expect white glove service from those I do business with. I appreciate world-class brands, and at this point in my life, I just don't want to compromise on quality, no matter what I buy.
Or you might be like Steve, whose goal is to always get the best deal.
I'm frugal. I'm all about finding value. I want the best price, and I don't mind going out of my way to get it. I work hard for my money. I just want to make sure when I buy something, I can have confidence in knowing I'm not overpaying for it. Stop being cheap. It's being smart.
You never see these two guys in the same store. Except for one.
That's why I shop at Genesis Diamonds.
Genesis Diamonds is that rare shopping experience where you can have it all. Uncompromising luxury and unbeatable value. Exceptional service and the guaranteed best price in America. A premium experience and a smart purchase. This is where the best of all worlds come together. Genesis Diamonds, voted best jewelry store year after year. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Thanks, Bill. Have a great day.
Every time our seniors pick up their prescriptions, they're saving money thanks to Medicare Part D. Now, Washington's special interests want to dismantle this vital program and use the money to pay for a partisan political agenda. But Marsha Blackburn is standing up for Tennessee seniors. Blackburn is fighting to protect Medicare and keep drug costs low. America is the global leader in medical innovation, giving our seniors access to more drugs, treatments, and cures than anyone else in the world. And Marsha Blackburn's plan would keep it that way. Now more than ever, our seniors need certainty when it comes to their health care. That's why Marsha Blackburn is keeping drug costs down and making life-saving medication accessible for those that need it most. Call Senator Marsha Blackburn, thank her for introducing the PING Act, and ask her to keep fighting to keep drug prices low for Tennessee seniors. Paid for by A Better Tomorrow in Tennessee.
Find out what a guaranteed offer would be on your home. There's never been a better time to sell. The real estate market is on fire. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and I'm here to tell you, you can get a strong cash offer and sell your home fast with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Don't worry about the hassle of constant cleaning and home maintenance. Now is the time to sell your home, and we can help you get a quick sell and maximum profit. Go to markspain.com, fill out a quick form, and receive an all-cash offer on your home today. There's no obligation. Our guaranteed offer allows you to bypass the market and sell your home hassle-free. There's no showings, no open houses, no stress. Choose when you want to move and close with confidence. One of our clients, Rachel, said, "We received an all-cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate in 24 hours that was above market value. It was smooth, easy, and stress-free. I can't recommend Mark Spain Real Estate enough. There's no showings, no open houses, no stress. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing."
855-299 sold.
Certain restrictions apply. Hit the jackpot on Vegas-sized thrills at Oak Grove Gaming. Just a quick spin from Nashville off I-24. Win big on over 1,300 of the latest and greatest games. Indulge in all your favorites at our 4 fantastic restaurants, including our signature steakhouse, Garrison Oak. Live it up at our lively bars and lounges, featuring the region's best bands performing live.
Of course, it's even more fun when you stay and play. Unwind in an elegant room or suite at our luxurious hotel. Then wake up to enjoy all the Vegas action all over again. Ready to get away without going far away? Make your hotel and dining reservations at oakgrovegaming.com. That's oakgrovegaming.com. Oak Grove Racing, Gaming, and Hotel. So Vegas, so close. Conveniently located off I-24, exit 86, across from Fort Campbell in Oak Grove, Kentucky. Just a short drive from Nashville. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are you in the market for a garage, storage shed, or pole barn? Enter Affordable Building Concepts. These guys have been serving the Nashville area for 20 years and have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They are licensed, bonded, and insured, so rest easy. Need a carport, new fence, deck, or a patio cover? Call them for your free on-site consultation. 615-594-5587 or visit affordable-buildings.com. 615-594-5587. Affordable Building Concepts, your backyard builders.
At Progressive, we're making things even easier. We'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Get ready for summer at Banana Republic Factory with 50 to 70% off everything. Discover new styles for all your sun-filled adventures, including easy tops, fresh shorts, and more from $9.99. Journey to your nearest store or shop online. Only at Banana Republic Factory.
From the 104.5 The Zone Traffic Center.
Southeast Harding Place and Metroplex Drive, we've got an accident east of 24. Use caution. Water Hill, Lebanon Pike, reports of a crash near Jefferson Pike and Ashland City. Fry Street eastbound of Brook Hollow Drive, we've got a crash with emergency crews on the scene. No problems coming in on 2465. No unusual delays on 40 or 440. This report brought to you by HeroLoan.com. The VA loan is one of the best benefits of being in the military. You can buy a home with no money down, and interest rates are up to a full point lower than other loans. HeroLoan.com. NMLS number 1326241. I'm Christy O'Brien with traffic on your home for Titans football. 104.5 The Zone.
JMart Ramon, 104.5 The Zone. Powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Right now on TV. Which team's best landing spot for Julio Jones? Jeff Saturday, the Niners. Marcus Spears, the Ravens. He also believes the cap is a lie. And Kimberly Martin says the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. You know who Kimberly Martin is? I'm pretty sure she's the Packers NFL Nation reporter for ESPN.
Of course.
I think that's right. I'm going to double check that. So it's all out there. And, of course, we saw what Chris Sims said yesterday and all this. Doesn't matter until June the 2nd. We welcome in David Beauclair. It matters when we chat with him from Sports Illustrated. David, what's going on this morning?
Not much, boys. How are you guys today?
Well, we're doing well, even though, the Predators lost last night in another one of these games. I'm just glad, like I said, I'm just glad it didn't happen 2 hours later and they still lost. Like, if we're going to go that long, let's just get it over with fast.
Yeah, it's funny in a 7-game series like that when it's tied 2-2. Game 5 is so critical always. Almost feels like it shouldn't be a sudden victory situation. Mm-hmm. Like you should be guaranteed at least 10 minutes, if not a full overtime period, especially, sort of a fluky goal like that to give up one. That I'm sure that's, I can't imagine anybody with the Predators got much sleep last night. But if it had been the other way, they certainly wouldn't be giving it back. And,
right.
That's the breaks of playoff hockey, I guess.
So I know you put up a piece, the 5 reasons Tennessee should go after Julio with everything they can and try to make this move. Kind of let us in on at least a few of the top ones. The obvious one, obviously, I know is the talent in pairing him with A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the best wide receivers of all time, or certainly of the modern era. Jerry Rice had John Taylor. Marvin Harrison had Reggie Wayne. Almost everybody you can think of. Even Chad Johnson had a T.J. Houshmandzadeh, right? I mean, does anybody believe that Josh Reynolds is the guy to make sure that A.J. Brown realizes his full potential? no disrespect to him, but it doesn't feel like it does. There's no indication that he would be that guy. Julio Jones, the big question with him is, can he still be a number one? Is he worth the money? Well, if he's the best number two in the league and makes AJ Brown, more of a bona fide number one than he already is, I think there's real value, and he'd be an improvement even over Corey Davis, who was pretty darn good in that role last year. And there's other things. I had a little fun with it. You think about Julio was the 6th overall pick in the 2011 draft. Titans have already tried with 2 of the top 10 picks in 2011. Didn't get much out of them when you're talking about Jake Locker at 8th overall and Blaine Gabbert the one year he was here and couldn't deliver the win against Indianapolis in Week 17, taking it 10th overall. This is another try to get something out of that. And and speaking of quarterbacks, I guess you think this franchise, the Vince Young / Kerry Collins era to Jake Locker to Marcus Mariota, all of them had their moments. Nobody really distinguished themselves in a true way. They've waited. This team has waited a long time to have a quarterback playing at the level Ryan Tannehill's playing at, and he's not getting any younger. I mean, you need to strike while the iron's hot with him, and give him every opportunity. So those are some of the things I touched on in that piece you referenced.
Is AJ young enough to where he can take a back seat to a guy like Julio coming in? In the world of NFL and just all levels, the number one, especially in NFL, wants the most targets, wants the most yards. It's an ego type position, which is why we, label them most times as divas and, prima donnas. Like, is he still young enough to not let that bother him?
I think he is. I talked to Rob Moore about this with this particular group sometime early last year, I guess, and he sort of chuckled and he conceded that these are wide receivers. They know how many catches they have, but even though nobody's really went public with any complaints in the last year or two, but AJ Brown went on Instagram yesterday and put a message out there to Julio saying, you can be the number one guy. I don't have to do that, but I think I think it would work well just saying, Julio, you don't have to play 75 snaps a game. That's AJ Brown's job. You can play 45 to 50 snaps a game, and we'll get the ball to you along the way. But yes, to your question, Ramon, Brown's young enough, but he's talented enough. I don't think he has to do that at this point.
One thing that I assume everybody is aware of this, but sometimes when you read emotional responses on social media, you wonder a little bit. Julio, this isn't like he's just picking a team. Julio doesn't control this. The Atlanta Falcons control this. So in many respects, the ball's in John Robinson's court. If he offers the best deal, chances are pretty daggone good that Atlanta would send him to Tennessee. Now, if you believe Chris Sims, it's Tennessee and New England. I know there's other teams that are going to be in that mix. I tend to think Atlanta wouldn't want to trade him in the NFC if they could help that. So at this point in time, have we reached a spot where the fans are going to be extremely disappointed in the general manager if Julio lands somewhere else?
I don't know if it's revealed that he made a genuine, legitimate push to get him. John Robinson has been unfailingly aggressive in trying to collect talent. He wants to. He's not trying to plant chestnuts all over the garden and see how many trees grow. I mean, he went after J.J. Watt, right? I mean, and by all accounts, made just as good an offer for him as the Cardinals did. So can you be disappointed in John Robinson for that? I don't think so. This is wide receiver is clearly still a position of need for this team, and if as long as he makes a wholehearted effort at it, and it's not the easiest thing. Titans do have some salary cap issues still. What's the compensation? What would you give up for him? These are legitimate questions that have to be asked. But I don't think there's any question that John Robinson really to this point has looked at every possible opportunity to try and make a big move to help this team where he can.
Thing is, if you do sign a guy like Julio, then you got to try to make room or push it down the line as far as making this roster work for the time being. Is this going to be a detriment in like 2 or 3 years if you bring on a guy like Julio who probably wants an extension or at least a pay increase at some point also?
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking about probably renegotiating a contract or two among current guys here. Yeah, those are things. But the way the NFL works, Ramon, and you know this as well as anybody. I mean, you got to try and win now. I think you win. You do what you can to win now if you're in position to do it, and you worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes. If the Titans get Julio Jones and he makes them a Super Bowl champion this year, everybody can live with 6-10 2 years from now if that's what has to happen. I think I know people who grew up in Chicago talk about how bad things were with the Bulls, for example, after Michael Jordan retired, but to a person, they say, those 6 championships were worth it. It was, those were great times. And I think, this city's been a pro sports town for a couple decades now. People are ready to hoist a trophy, whatever it takes to do that.
So how do you make this work? And now you've probably had some time to think about it, Boki, what is it? Just Tannehill restructuring? Is it some veteran player going somewhere else? Now, it doesn't look like the Falcons could take on any salary. Maybe you'd have to try and trade somebody else to create more room to make this happen. Like, how do you make this work financially under the cap, considering you have about $3 million, give or take, to play with?
Yeah, Kevin Byard is one that I look at. He's got a big cap number this year. You can restructure him, free up some money that way. Because when you look at the roster, Kevin Byard's eventual replacement, I don't think is on the roster right now. Though the way we saw with Amani Hooker pushing Kenny Vaccaro out, there's Kevin Byard looks like your starting safety for the next 2 or 3 years still at least. So you might as well go ahead and do that. You can do the same thing with Taylor Lewan. The whole having to draft a right tackle 2 years in a row thing probably pushed back your plan in dealing with your left tackle of the future. So Lewan's going to be there for a while. I think those are the guys that you look at in terms of who are we likely to need for a while, and Tannehill, to your point, is certainly another one. At 32 years old, he'll be 33, I guess, by the start of the regular season. You do have to start asking the question with him at some point, when is age going to catch up with him? I don't think Tom Brady is redefining the position for all quarterbacks in terms of his ability to play at an advanced age. So you do worry about that with Tannehill, but as I say, you've got him right now. He's playing at this level, so you do what you have to do now and worry about tomorrow.
David, man, it's always a pleasure to have you join us, man. We'll look forward to the next one.
I look forward to it too. Thanks, boys, for having me.
Yeah, anytime. That's at Beauclair Sports Illustrated. So Byard was mentioned there, but he was mentioned as a restructure. Mm-hmm. Now that's one thing. Yeah. Like, if Byard had to go in order to make this work, or if there was a name that had to go in order to make this work, that would change my calculus. Because I'm not getting rid of Kevin Byard for Julio if that had to happen. I know that was thrown out there yesterday. You do have to do some things. You have to finagle some things to make this work. But I agree with Beauclair's larger point about Julio. If you think this wins you a Super Bowl, I don't care what happens 4 or 5 years from now. I don't care what happens 2 or 3 years from now. Because if you win a Super Bowl, that's better than almost winning 6.
Yeah,
problem is you don't know that you're going to win a Super Bowl.
And that's the thing about it.
But you never will. You never will.
You never will, man. The biggest thing we got to look at with this team too is watching how this defense comes together. Defense is I've always kind of viewed it in the sense of like, look, they're controlled chaos is how you look at a defense. Like, they can mess up and still make plays. So that's the reason I'm kind of giving them a pass as far as all these new moving parts. But your biggest free agent signing And Bud, you want him out there. I would feel more comfortable if I knew he was already healthy and ready to go. I know he said he's ahead of schedule, but I know the Titans are going to be very cautious in putting him out there and say, hey, game 1, go. I don't think that's smart by them, and it wouldn't be smart by him either. The thing is, do the Titans have enough time in the early parts of the season, and are they afforded to, hey, say, play Bud only 30% of the snaps? And I know you got guys that are willing to go and ready to get down, but the first 3 weeks of this season, Jay, this ain't no easy task. This is
and you better start well because we already know weeks 6 through 10 are not going to be fun.
And you can't afford to be 10-7. You can.
10-7 may not make the playoffs.
It might not make the playoffs. Which again, to that point though, these first 3 weeks, Arizona, Seattle, Indianapolis. You don't really get a breather as far as a young, inexperienced quarterback until week 4 at the Jets. Then you got to think with them in that offensive line, they're going to try to make a way for the young guy there, Zach Wilson. So there's some moving parts that's got to be handled. Do we even know the kicking situation just yet? There's a lot of
like I said, yeah. There's much here. I mean, look, would you rather just get Julio and probably be in that spot, or would you rather go get Golden Tate and O.J. Howard and
I even saw somebody
kick the
bring
tires
up
on Geno Atkins,
Larry Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald's names been mentioned. I don't think I would mess with that this year.
I wouldn't either. It's a lot that's got to happen here soon, and you hope that all parties involved in camp and OTAs and mini camp are all there trying to get together this roster now, because I'll be honest, that does help. That does work out. Guys don't like to do OTAs and be in mini camp, but it's a part of the growth. It's a part of getting the playbook down, and if your vets are there or at least they come half of the time, you got a chance to at least get on the same page. You got a new OC-DC that's working in cohesion with one another. You got a lot of new free agent signings along with draft picks that's got to happen. The Caleb Farley situation's got to happen. You got to get him healthy and on the field. If you get Bud, if you get Caleb, if you get Danico, you get Landry, you get all of these guys back in the fold and they're on the field as 11 strong, as a unit. Christian Fulton, across the board, Jackrabbit, that defense sounds good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we need to see Jackrabbit, but
we gotta see it.
Maybe.
And it's gotta come. It's gotta. Jay, they need to be at the door knocking right now, as far as getting this going. And I know the way the season works, you fine tune some things and you grow as the season go along. But if we're talking about Super Bowls and you're talking about leveraging or mortgaging to get Julio right now, the other parts of this team got to do their part too. And again, the questions about special teams is something that you gotta put that together. The punting is fine, we know that, but extra point and field goal, are you gonna run it back with Gotti or what? Gaskowski or what?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
You see what I'm saying? So there's still questions that's got to be answered before we get to Julio's going to take you to a Super Bowl. Let's slow down a little bit.
I would say one thing that would help us to know is what Josh Reynolds is actually going to do. And we don't know that.
We don't.
I believe he's going to be good here.
I think so too.
I've made the comparison similar to Delaney sitting behind Vernon Davis. I love that signing when it was first made, when he came here, because I felt like the little bit I had seen of him, I thought he was good. Mm-hmm. He came in, he was very good. This is not an apples-to-apples comparison, but he was sitting behind Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and all these receivers and Sean McVay's offense, so he wasn't asked to do nearly as much as he would be here. I want to see what he can do given more opportunity. At the same time, if you have the opportunity to get Julio Jones in your Tennessee Titans, it's hard to see a world where you're better not trying to do it. You do have to weigh in, what you're giving up long term and how much you still have to do after the fact and what this positions you not to be able to do potentially after the fact also. Cousin Danny's on YouTube. He says Tate and Howard or Tate and Ertz does more for this team than Julio alone does.
Still out there?
Yeah, but I think Ertz is about done.
He's been hurt a good bit, though, as of late, right?
Yeah.
Y'all don't want damaged goods every time because the thing is that it's easier to get injured again. I ain't going to say it's easier to, but it takes a longer time to get back.
Yes, it does.
We're still in the offseason. We're still talking about football.
We haven't really gotten into Rodgers.
We even got
eventually.
into
Plus, I want to do this offensive line thing today.
Yeah,
the PFF thing.
Please, let's get into that.
PFF has ranked their top 32 offensive linemen. I just want to ignite Ramon Foster.
Please.
I want to turn you into Famone roster.
That's probably what I'm gonna do with that.
Except it won't be a sneeze.
I
Even
can't
though
wait
it'll
to
feel
hear
like
this.
an allergy.
And I did.
I did as I asked and didn't look it up.
I didn't look at all. I ain't even teased to see who's the number one tackle, who I think is Bakhtiari.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
But that's not wrong.
That ain't wrong.
No,
Yeah.
that one's not wrong. 615-737-1045. Your thoughts on Julio, your thoughts on the Predators, certainly, and what you saw last night there. Where would your line be when it came to Julio? In terms of what you would have to give up? What would your line be? Where would you go from, yes, I want him to, we're going to have to let it go. As much as we want it, we got to let it go. That's a question I'll ask you. And
I love
if
that
it's
idea.
if it's in your court, if it's in your court and you're John Robinson, like, how are the fans going to feel if you don't? Like, if you're a fan right now and you know John Robinson could make this happen, at least in your mind, are you going to be disappointed if it doesn't go your way? Because there are a lot more complicated factors. And if New England, for example, offers a better deal, that's where Atlanta is going to send him. Be right back. It's JMart and Ramon, 104.5 The Zone.
The Titan Station. Yes! This is 104.5 The Zone, Nashville.
Mortgage interest rates are still sitting at a low level, but they are starting to tick up. So if you've been sitting on the fence to get a refi, if you haven't got your pre-approved home loan locked in, now is the time. Quit waiting for a lower rate. Quit waiting, period, okay? Because if you're sitting around waiting for a house, it's probably gone already, okay? But again, it's still in the low twos, and also by refinancing your 30-year mortgage, though, the home loan expert can save you hundreds of dollars a month. This past year has been tough, and for a lot of different reasons. People have experienced a lot of life issues, whether it's job, whether it's family, whether it's people, whether it's just bills and debt. There's a lot that has gone on over these past 12 months. But your home is your biggest asset. And with the home equity so high right now, it is the perfect time, if you can, to do a cash-out refi. They can lower your monthly payments. Awesome. Give you cash to pay off debt. Even better. And you can simply skip a few mortgage payments. Me personally, if I can, I like to skip a few bills as long as they don't come calling. But that's how you continue 2021 with a little less worry. Sitting at home for months, and if you're looking at homes like I have been, just for no apparent reason, you'll see if they're here today, they're gone tomorrow. That's the Nashville market. So getting pre-approved is key to finding your dream home. At thehomeloanexpert.com, they can lock in your interest rate, check. Project your payments, awesome, and get you pre-qualified. So when you find that right home, you can submit the offer and close on that dream home when you are ready. A bonus, the Home Loan Expert are even doing homes. They're doing more homes than ever, and they're closing purchases in less than 30 days. So don't wait. Visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
Looking for the easiest way to sell your home? Sell it to Opendoor. With Opendoor, you can quickly get a competitive offer and close on your timeline, which makes it a lot easier if you're buying a new house at the same time. Forget double mortgages or double moves and decide when you want to sell. Just go to Opendoor.com, answer some questions about your home, and get an offer in just a few steps. That's Opendoor, the easiest way to sell your home. Get your free offer at Opendoor.com/myoffer. Offer eligibility varies. Opendoor is represented by Opendoor Brokerage, Inc., license 02061130 in California, and Opendoor Brokerage, LLC in its other markets.
1877 cars for kids.
Producers recognized they had a problem. They declined a request from us to use the footage on Tuesday's PFT Live. That's a courtesy routinely extended among networks. Not just to be nice, it gives a show from one network free airtime on a rival network. For Fox to say no means Fox knows Sharp and his producers would have been better seeking permission, not forgiveness after the fact. So, again, the producers the producers quickly realized if they didn't, I can't believe they didn't know it in time to do something about it. But man alive. Falcons complain to the NFL. NFL complains to Fox. And Fox is probably going to slap Shannon Sharp on the wrist. Probably.
No, fire him.
I don't think they will, is what I'm saying.
I understand, but I think you're seeing part of the problem.
Florio writes, some at Fox undoubtedly would say that as long as the feathers can be unruffled, it's worth it. They got plenty of exposure from the moment. Now, to me, it means I'll never watch them again because that's trash.
That's the problem.
Tabloid, garbage, hot take,
Trash.
manufactured arguments, inauthentic crap is what that is.
Not great, Bob.
Put it in the dumpster, bury the dumpster in a hole, and then bury the hole.
Goodness.
We have to be better than that. I don't mean we as this show. I mean we as everybody.
People who cover
anybody
sports.
covers sports,
Yeah.
news, anything. You just don't do that garbage.
Nope, you do not, man.
And to me, that doesn't do anything for me. It just makes me want to watch them less.
And
if it was a stunt for a purpose and not just Shannon not being particularly intelligent in that moment,
not great. Again, I'm pro player. I love for players to get as much as they can. You want to trade? Okay, find a way to get out. A B situation at the time, I didn't really get it, but I understood it after the fact. And now seeing his situation unfold, Julio's not as bad as his. They just got to find a way to get rid of Julio. The thing in business is this, though. Both sides got to work. Both sides got to find their leverage. The thing with what Shannon and Skip and everybody did to Julio is they put Atlanta in a corner. And you know this is one thing that's going to happen with the NFL. They're going to protect their assets. They're going to find ways to get back at whatever happened to cause a detriment to whoever. And you got a feeling that Roger Goodell, the other 31 owners, are looking at Fox and are like, Fox Sports, you guys kind of screwed up. You screwed us.
Well, you screwed Atlanta badly.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, of course, you've given up their negotiating position because it's hard to bring him back now if the offer's not good enough. That's what we were saying yesterday. Now, if a bunch of teams want him, then it still becomes an arms race.
Right,
and you would think there's still going to be enough to where it's not just there's one team and you bring him back. But it means the offer isn't going to be as strong because it didn't have to be as strong. Because you know these are distressed parties that have to separate from one another. I guess the only thing is I already knew that. We already knew it because of the cap situation in Atlanta.
Yeah, but but to that point about they could have brought him back and found a way to keep him, that's out the window now. The way everybody's looking at they're chopped meat right now. You need me. I don't need y'all right now. Julio will look good in whatever color team that he's going to be on next, but I don't really have to offer you much right now. Because he said he's out in Dallas, guess what? You're out too. So now the negotiating pot is a whole lot smaller when it comes to teams that where he want to be at. Now, Atlanta can be spiteful, but to that point about Julio being in a good position with the Atlanta Falcons, he was. I think he knew he was out because they've had those conversations. What happened was they made Julio look like a villain on Fox Sports with Skip and Shannon. And that's not good. I don't think Atlanta's going to be spiteful. If anything, you know, I like to get petty, and you do too. Atlanta could be petty towards Skip and Shannon and say, hey, you get no access. The league can be there from McCarthy's piece.
Exactly.
His agency.
And he will join us, by the way, tomorrow on the program. Front Office Sports is, and he wrote the piece here earlier this morning. The only other thing I was just thinking in my head, I don't think there's necessarily a case for this, but it does harm Julio's reputation. If I'm his representation, I'm thinking to myself, is this defamation? Because all of a sudden, like, he's super professional, all this kind of stuff, and now he's on a hot mic saying, oh, I'm out of there, and I'm not going to Dallas. Like, he looks exactly the opposite of everything he has done his entire career, seemingly in a way he never intended.
No.
Because if you call somebody, you're not expecting that to be on the air, you would think.
He's been a true pro his entire time.
615-737-1037 1045 Preds. We'll talk about that game and how it ended, the officiating, the gamesmanship, all that we saw last night. We've got Rhett Bryan. Rhett's, I see him in the studio. He's usually got us turned up. If you're not doing anything, Rhett, come hang out.
We see you.
He just raised up a finger. I don't know what
Come
that
vibe
means.
with me, bro.
I don't think it was the third finger.
Come vibe with me, bro.
It was a thumb and pointed in. Yeah, he's
Come
doing.
vibe with me, bro.
Yeah, he's doing a "Come Vibe with Me, Bro" song. He's actually doing a.
Oh, the hang tight.
Yeah, he's doing the hang 10 or the hang tight. We'll be right back. JMart and Ramon, you can hang tight here on 104.5 The Zone.
Opinionated, honest, and real. The 3HL with Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, and Ron Slay. This afternoon starting at 3 on 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, it's JMart. With a lot of jewelry stores, you find the same old cookie cutter designs that you see everywhere. I love cookies. I know Ramon loves cookies. Slay loves cookies. Everybody here, there's cookies all over the studio. We don't need cookie cutter designs. A lot of the stuff's mass-produced. It's not updated, but that's not the case at Genesis Diamonds. That's my jewelry store, and I want it to be yours. Genesis is where you can always find the latest styles, the newest trends, the most fashion-forward looks in both bridal and in fashion jewelry. The styles that other stores say are new and exciting, you saw those at Genesis like 4 years ago. Genesis has a huge advantage over all these stores because they're the exclusive retail partner for the biggest names, the most sought-after designers in the world, and they're direct importers. At Genesis, you're going to find the brand names that represent quality craftsmanship and lasting value. That's names like Tacori and Viraggio and Henry Dawsey. Henry Dawsey's actually the ring that's on Abby's finger right now. Her wedding ring is a Henry Dawsey, and she absolutely loves it. Not every jewelry store is allowed to carry these brands, but Genesis has them all, and dozens more new items arrive weekly from the design studios in New York and LA, so do not compromise. Stop compromising. You're spending a lot of money anywhere. You might as well spend it at the best place you can find. Without a date, stale designs, no more. At Genesis Diamonds, everything's updated, everything's unique. You can get the handcrafted ring of her dreams or that all-new fashion necklace or bracelet and still stay within your budget. It's my jewelry store for a reason. I want it to be yours. It's Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills, and Cool Springs.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Today's birthday shout-out goes to the great Dan Pastorini. When Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Trey Lance were taken with the first 3 picks of the 2021 NFL Draft, that quarterback trio conjured up images of 1971, when Heisman Trophy winner Jim Plunkett, Archie Manning, and Pastorini were tabbed 1, 2, and 3. During his years with the Oilers, Pastorini was known for his toughness. He was the first quarterback to play with a flak jacket under his uniform, as well as for a critical should-have-been touchdown pass to Mike Renfro that would have propelled Houston to the Super Bowl. That is
Predators fans need it after last night. The officials need it just to do their job. More effectively.
I thought something was going on over there, man. There's a dude over there.
I did too. I was like, somebody applauding?
Somebody out the window. I see
No one
the
is
shadow.
applauding. They are applauding that pack of cigarettes.
Yes, tamping it down.
Got to pack it.
Get ready to fire up a lung dart.
Oh, man. It is 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So where are all these dang cicadas everybody's been talking about?
Don't
I
ask
haven't
for
seen
them.
them yet.
Don't
Let
call
me
them
get
out.
through. Let me get
Don't
through
call them
Memorial
out.
Day weekend now, Rhett. Come on now.
No, I mean, I think that somebody's misforecast them supposed to be around here. I haven't seen them yet.
But
And
they
it's
said
been-
somebody did say though on Zone TV that it's actually like a farmer's almanac for where they actually are. Like not every city and district is
Yeah,
going
it's
to have
possible
them
we don't
out.
get them until 2023
Yeah.
or something
Okay.
like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I knew there was like somewhere between 11 and 13 states along the eastern seaboard that would have them right now. But
I mean, feel free to infect Lexington, Kentucky if you want.
hey, blue mist turns brown.
Wesley Woodyard appreciate that.
Oh, no doubt about it.
11-year NFL veteran of All for Life, Ramon Foster. 17-year shuffleboard veteran. Now going to be taken down by Aaron Rodgers, it looks like, if you're watching these photos.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Schaefer.
You better stop going to islands and get on those cruise ships because I think you can take that crowd. Aaron Rodgers is a little bit more of an athlete.
Coming after you, Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron. And I'm Jason Martin. We're on Twitter at JMart and Ramon.
Discount double check this.
Come vibe with me, bruh.
This route.
Come vibe with me, bro.
I love the tone of voice of A.J. Brown right there. That's maybe my favorite cut this side of Tua Tagovailoa, QB.
Tagovailoa, QB, Alabama.
The drops that we've gotten on this show, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just happened. They just happen, Rhett. That's
They
part
do.
of it, man. It just happened.
So let's let a couple of callers maybe set us off here a little bit. Cuzzo Bam is up first. Bam, what's up?
Yo, what's up, fella?
Hey.
What's going on?
Hey, man, listen, I'm going to the studio today, and I'm going to mix Jackie Moon's Love Me Sexy and that A.J. Brown clip together.
I want to hear it, man. I'm telling you. Tell me that come
man.
vibe with me, bro. The way that AJ says it isn't right for a beat.
I'm telling you, I said that, yeah. But look, okay, so here's my thing on Julio, real quick. If we get Julio, I think that makes Josh Reynolds' job a little easier. I think we could probably move him to the slot. Anthony Ferguson, I feel like that may put him in a position where he could hold his own. I think it makes it easier for everybody because, like they said, AJ has dealt with issues. I think it would balance everything out as far as the offense goes. Now, does that make us a top NFL offense? That's my question. Like, consistently. Whether one of them goes down, do we just move everybody around and stuff like that? So that was my perception of y'all. Like, do we win 11 games, possibly 12 games with them? Do we score 30 points again like how it was with the offense we had this year? That's my question.
Right. All right. So, and Rhett Bryan, by the way, is with us here this hour, executive producer at Titans Radio. What you have to remember is the offense last year was historically good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, teams don't score in the 30s in the NFL on a regular basis.
The franchise hadn't done it since it was the run and shoot with Warren Moon and
Right.
those guys in Houston.
Right. So 4 years ago. No, I'm just kidding. Warren Moon's a little bit more than 4 years.
Choosing violence. The longer we go, the more violence
We're in
we
the
get.
fourth hour.
You stupid idiot.
As my wife says at night, sometimes I get a little punchy.
Is that
Time
what
for
you
bed.
call it?
Stop it. Quiet.
That's what she said.
So, look, Julio's the topic.
And he's carried us. I swear, listeners, we've tried to go to AA Ron.
We tried to go to AA Ron. We tried to go to all sorts of
to the
different stuff.
linemen, the tackles we still hadn't got into. And this Julio thing it's almost like we're talking about it so much that it's got to happen.
Well, let's I can see both sides of the fence in this.
Yeah.
All right. I can see reasons why you wouldn't want to sign him because of the age, because of the wear and tear. The guy's missed 25 games in his career. Now, they've been years apart.
Right.
He missed some significant time last year, including, I think, 4 out of his last 5 games, I think.
And there's a double-edged sword there. He has not missed a lot of time in his career.
Right.
Which means he's played a ton of football.
He has, absolutely. So there's some of the minuses, the negatives in this.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing you're trying to maintain, and you just set it up on the tee, Jason, is scoring in the 30s, which I don't think you have to do because you've addressed so much on defense. But if you want to try to continue that method, you have to replace what happened with the departures of Corey Davis and Jonnu Smith. So that means explosion. And Julio Jones is the definition of explosion and production. 95.5 yards per game receiving in his career. All right, that's one thing. Now, the other thing, the explosive plays, 20 yards or more. This will set this up perfectly. To give some context to what he's done so far in his career, and with the caveat that health and all that is good, and he still has good legs, the whole deal going forward, and you bring him here. Randy Moss has 229 X plays of 20 yards or more catches in his career. Larry Fitzgerald 223. Current players, to give you an idea, Michael Thomas already has 79 of those. Mike Evans in Tampa has 128 of those. Cortland Sutton, the young guy in Denver who played in one game and got hurt, 36 of those already. Julio Jones, 209 receptions in his career of 20 yards plus. So there's the explosion that you're talking about. So, that is why people are itching to get this thing done. Even at a shortened season last year for him, 51 for 771 and 3 touchdowns. That's 15.1 yards per catch.
That's wild stuff.
And guess who had that last year? Corey Davis. And people are like, well, why didn't you re-sign Corey Davis? Well, Corey Davis got $27 million in guaranteed money in a $60-something million deal, right? So, the first question is Julio good with coming here knowing that he's going to be like 1A, not wide receiver 1, because that's our guy, A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown has already said, I'm not changing jersey numbers.
He originally said he would, and now he's like,
now
now I can't go to –
right.
I can't do what I wanted to do.
He can get 8. But he also said, we've already talked about this. So have they been conversating? I know
I'm sure they've talked.
They've talked.
So if it's good, then, hey, all right. Now, here's the thing, and Jonathan Schaefer and I were looking at this yesterday with the money situation that Atlanta is in, and that's why releasing him is not really an option. It's got to be a trade. Because when they cut him, there's so much more dead money. It cost them $4 million less just to keep him after June the 1st. All right. So then it becomes who are the suitors and what do they give in a selection in a trade in this thing? They're not going to get a 1. I agree with that. It would have already happened if that's the case. So it's a 2 or lower this whole deal.
Can I ask you this?
Well, let me set it up. One more thing, Moan. Atlanta still, well, they could keep him. Well, here's the thing. They're less than $1 million under the cap, and they still need almost $7 million to sign their rookie draft class, which they have not done.
$357,000.
Yeah,
less than $500,000 under the cap.
Right. And they need about $7 million just to sign their rookie class, and then you've got to have some float money through the year for transactions when guys get hurt and this and that and the other. So, go ahead with your question.
And you can answer just simply yes or no before we as we're up on this break, but. Do you think a guy like Arthur Smith is willing to keep Julio in his first year the way it is right now, as far as him?
Well, I think he'd like to, but I don't think he can afford to.
Okay.
That's the problem.
There's a lot at stake for Arthur in this first year.
Well, sure, because Calvin Ridley becomes wide receiver 1 until Kyle Pitts is weapon number 1 in this.
Exactly right. 615-737-1045. I see Tyler in Smyrna. You may want to play devil's advocate when we come back. You can ask us questions about this. We'll put a pin.
Put your mic up.
What in the hell?
We'll put a stake in the ground.
Boneless.
We'll come back and we will pull that stake out and we will continue to talk about this when we come back on JMart and Ramon on 104.5 The Zone.
The Titans have clout.
But we're talking about clout. Titans have clout. But it also, to have a reputation like they seem to be building, means something. Means something to guys who are coming in. Means something that they play in the city of Nashville.
The Buck Rising Show. Today, starting at 10 a.m. on 104.5 The Zone.
It's playoff time. Big stakes and bigger promotion. DraftKings Sportsbook is putting you courtside with a chance to turn $5 into $200. If you didn't know, that's 40-1 odds on any basketball game. All you got to do is pick any team that's still in the hunt for the trophy, and if that team wins, you will receive $200 in free credits. That's right. Pick any team that is still in contention. Bet $5, and if that team wins, you cash in $200 in free credits. All it takes to claim this 40-1 odds on the basketball team of your choosing is placing a $5 bet on that team and that team to win. And don't forget, DraftKings Sportsbook also has great odds and promotions on baseball, hockey. We saw golf pay off this weekend, so there's so much more you can do on this app. DraftKings also is safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your funds at your convenience. You need it, you get it. That's how they operate. Simply download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code WGFX when you sign up to turn $5 into $200 in free credits. Bet on the basketball team of your choice to win the next game, and if they do, you can claim $200 in free credits. That's promo code, though, WGFX for a limited time, and it's only at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Must be 21 years and older and present in Tennessee to bet. The wager is paid out in site credits. Restrictions apply, of course. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants or needs help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Empty seats can't cheer. They don't tailgate, and they don't know fight songs. Empty seats don't sing during seventh-inning stretches. And they don't know stats or superstitions.
the TV.
That was a call on Carrier that led to a
Jump
Jordan
around.
Stahl goal.
It was Sony.
It is JMart Ramon here on 104.5 The Zone.
Jump around. Jump around.
When are we going to grow up?
I'm just glad it hadn't happened. I'm glad that sneeze has
Never.
kind of seemingly gone away.
12th of nevers when we're going to grow up.
12th of zip it.
Zip it.
We're on Twitter at JMart Ramon. We're talking Julio Jones. We're talking NFL. All of this stuff that's going on right now. So, do you think the fans, Brett, are disappointed that you get this far? Or do you think they would be disappointed if it doesn't happen when you feel like it's kind of in your court with your team being able to make the best offer to get the guy?
I think there's a great faction of folks that absolutely say yes to that. I mean, I saw a guy tweet yesterday and said, if I don't hear Julio Jones to the Titans today, I may take a swan dive off the top of my building or whatever it was. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but I'm like, dude, calm down.
5 letters here. RELAX.
Exactly. And I didn't even tweet a reply, but I'm like, post June 1st, pal. This is what you got to hold on for and see what's what. And even then, it may not happen. We'll see.
As Coach Mack would say, keep your powder dry.
Exactly. Keep your powder dry. But
Swan dive.
now, let me say this. What hasn't helped Titans fans is that you have A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry stumping for him.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry working out with him in Texas. I mean,
Kevin Byard.
And the problem with
Kevin Byard signing off. So
the problem there is that they don't control it. Julio doesn't control it. Like what they're doing, they're trying to get him there. It's like you're not recruiting J.J. Watt. You're not trying to recruit Peyton Manning to Denver.
No.
You're not trying to do those things. It's in the hands of the Atlanta Falcons and the ownership of the teams that are making the choices here.
Because of what we outlined in the previous segment. That's exactly right. It's financial. For all of you that's just joining us this morning right now, it's financial and what the salary cap implications are for the Atlanta Falcons in this. And they are way up against it. Don't have enough money to sign their rookie draft class. Don't have enough money to float on through the season for transactions. And so this is what is coming to a fevered pitch here in the next few, couple of weeks or so, because they've got to get those guys signed to get them ready for training camp and all that stuff. And so Julio is going to be traded, not necessarily released, because if they release him, the cap hit is bigger and it has more implications in this. Like I said in the previous segment, I read yesterday where if they kept him, it would be $4 million less than if they released him.
The dead money is a disaster for them when it comes to this deal.
And it just so happens it's one of the casualties of the first ever what I call retraction of the salary cap because of a pandemic.
Yes.
It's, the free agency and the cap have been around since 1993, and it took a pandemic to shrink it.
Yeah, so let's have some fun. Pro Football Focus put out their list of 32 best offensive linemen entering the season.
I can't wait.
Ramon loves Pro Football Focus.
Oh, he does. He
adores Pro Football Focus.
No, he does.
And 3 really appreciates how they value offensive linemen and how they rate them.
Yep.
This is going to be great.
And loves how they calculate to get to those stats they arrive at that you're about to give us.
So I'm going to name guys. I'm just going to start at 32. And we'll roll down here. And there's some very interesting names here. 32, I told you yesterday, Mom, was Alejandro.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
31 is Penei Sewell.
Already. No. Nope.
Fight you right now, Jason.
The word is I have all the confidence in the world in Sewell eventually climbing into the top 10, but we're ranking these tackles based on things as they stand, not the future.
In Detroit?
Played in 20 games in college, opt out in 2020. And had questions about whether he loves the game. Sorry, not yet. Keep
Ain't
your powder
even
dry.
close.
We didn't even get to the third name. He's already furious.
Well, I'm right there with him.
I think it's hard. I think it's hard to put somebody that's never played in a game.
He's a horsemanure.
Is that Sam Monson?
Oh my God. He's above Al.
All right, let's keep going.
Keep going.
Number 30, Brian O'Neill, Minnesota Vikings.
I couldn't call them off top, but they're starting to rebuild.
Okay, they've got all these ratings and stuff. We'll leave that alone.
Yeah,
29, Mekhi Becton.
I would have thought he would be higher. I put him in low 20. I put him 20s. I like his talent. His team was bad, so sometimes that makes you look bad too.
Freakishly fast to be as big a human being as he is.
360 plus, moving.
And it's got the gets now.
Yes,
He's
he
good.
does. He's good.
Number 28, Darrell Williams.
Darrell Williams from.
He's in Buffalo now.
Oh, yeah,
He's
I like
5
him.
years in Carolina.
I like Darrell Williams. I wouldn't put him above Mekhi Becton, though.
That's easy. Keep in mind the names you hear as we mention others and say, no, he should be higher. 27, Rob Havenstein.
Is that 49ers?
Rams.
Yeah. He's solid.
26, DJ Humphries, Arizona Cardinals.
DJ Humphries?
Mm-hmm. Something clicked in week 5 of 2020, they write. I guess that one game put him that high.
I would have thought lower for him.
25, Lyle Collins.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
He's had a rough couple of years, the last couple of years. I don't see him being that high.
24, Jonah Williams, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati? Jonah? Are we serious? No. Are you serious?
In a word,
Finished 14th among all tackles in true pass set grade, which is the
I
most
like
stable
him.
area of offensive tackle play.
I like him, but he absolutely not.
Pro Football Focus calculus right there.
No way.
23, Colton Miller
From
Raiders.
I can see that.
You can see him
I can
right
see
there
that.
at 23.
Yeah, I can see that.
22, Tyron Smith, Cowboys.
Did he finish last year? I don't think so.
I don't think
no,
he did.
he only played 2 games last year due to injury.
Okay, then why is he there? Because he's a Cowboy.
Because the Cowboys were bad after he was gone, I think.
Skip Bayless put that one in there.
He was the 12th highest graded tackle in the entire NFL in the 3 years prior to 2020.
Well, la-di-da.
What have you done for me lately?
Number 11, Deion Dawkins.
From the Bills?
Yeah.
Yeah, stud. He should probably be higher than that.
Number 20, Isaiah Wynn, Patriots.
From Patriots. Solid kid, shorter tackle. I like him. Very athletic, too.
19, Taylor Decker, Detroit Lions.
Taylor Decker.
So you got 2 Lions linemen now. One of them a rookie that's
One
never
of 'em
played
a
before.
rookie.
Yeah.
Decker's solid, though. I can't knock him.
Now it gets interesting.
Let's go.
18, Taylor Lewan.
18,
Well-
he's not top half?
Well, here's the thing. Now he missed. He's missed some significant time now.
Yes, he has.
He's 30 years old now. I can understand that. If this was Taylor Lewan 2 years ago, he'd be top 10.
Here's how it's written. Lewan played in just 5 games this past season due to injuries. Clearly not the same player of the past, notching just a 61.8 grade across his 239 snaps. For reference, his lowest graded season in his 6 seasons before that was 76.3. He's a top 10 talent at his position if he fully recovers and is back to old form.
Bingo.
If he'll play well because he has to. I think he's got to hear the rumblings around the city of what's surrounding him. Being at 18 should be a motivational
I'm more worried
piece
about
for
him, his availability, because he's just been dinged a lot.
Yeah, because when you think about him leaving games with stingers and the like,
The neck, yeah.
and again, that's why I say I don't necessarily disagree with 18 and would be higher than that had he played an entire 2020.
Played the entire season. He's got to hear these rumblings around.
Oh, I'm
him.
sure. 17, Orlando Brown Jr., Kansas City.
I like him. I don't know how he's going to transition well to left tackle. Although he did play it last year, big body kid, a lot of talent. This offense, the way he plays in, is going to be very interesting, though.
16, Jake Matthews in Atlanta.
Thought they were trying to get rid of Jake. I think that's
I
a little
actually
high
thought
for
he'd be.
Jake.
I thought he'd be lower than that.
Yeah, so I'm with you. It's
Okay.
a little high, though.
15, Andrew Whitworth with the Rams.
I can't say nothing bad about this.
The
I'm
guy
being
is knocking on the door of 40.
40. As
Year
much as
17 in the league, tore his MCL last year. One of the 5 highest graded tackles in the NFL through the first 10 weeks of the season. 12th straight year in which he produced a top 10 pass block grade among tackles.
I wouldn't argue with the spot there
I
at
can't
all.
argue with it. As old as he is, as injured as he's been, as physical as he still tends to play, technique, I would not watch it at all.
It's like another Rams offensive lineman that played 22 seasons in Jackie Slater.
Yeah. Hey,
Consistent.
if you look at friggin' Whitworth roll people past the quarterback, it's a thing of art. Another dude I'm looking to be on that list, and I hope he is, and we'll talk about him. But Whitworth, when he was in Cincy, I was like, man, he might be done. And then he went to freaking L.A. and turned it on. That spot is appropriate, Rat. Jay. Yeah.
14, Mike McGlinchey, 49ers. Say they're
Stud.
on his list because of his work against the run.
Stud. This dude, having him and Trent on the same line. Hey, McGlinchey, he is to me, a stud. His run game,
he's
vicious.
nasty.
He is
nasty.
It's borderline.
He's violent.
Yes.
Violent hands.
Your head better be on the swivel when you're playing them, because between what we saw Trenton do last year and the way he comes off the line and his hips and his balance, he could be top 10.
13, Braden Smith. Colts.
Yet to be seen.
Been a right tackle since 2018, starting since he was a rookie. Fifth among all right tackles in Pro Football Focus grade since 2019. Second only to Ryan Ramczyk in run blocking grade.
Overshadowed because of Q and the left side of that line.
You know it. It's solid. And especially a right tackle getting that much love, too.
Now it gets very interesting again.
Oh, here we go.
Number 12, Jack Conklin.
Jack's efficient. I know that
Jeff was on the other side. Jeff told me years ago, he's overrated. Super overrated.
I used to think that too, but he reminds me of a younger Whitworth. He finds a way to get the job done. I don't like his set at all. I ain't gonna say I laughed at it, but it was like, how are you getting this done? You know what I'm saying?
And it shows you he was not healthy when he came back from the knee his last year here, which is one of the reasons why, because of that window of time, they could not exercise the fifth-year option on him, and he got out.
Yeah, that sucks. I would have loved to still have seen him here, but he went to a similar system, if we're being real.
Mm-hmm.
Run first type of offense.
Mm-hmm.
I
just find it interesting that Lawan's at 18 and Conklin's at 12.
How Titans
I just find that interesting in terms of
Conklin had a hell of a year in Cleveland last year.
He did. And he got paid appropriately for it, too.
He sure did.
Number 11, Dwayne Brown, Seattle.
I don't know about Dwayne that high. Dwayne should probably be after Lawan if you ask him.
He's old, too.
Well, and here's the thing.
Really old.
I don't think any Seattle lineman should be up that high because how many sacks has Russell Wilson had in his career?
Yes.
There? Let's be honest.
See, this is what happens when you have your own in-house grading system, though.
All right, so top 10. Lane Johnson, Eagles at 10.
Solid stud. I'm always going to sign.
He's a star name.
I'm always going to side-eye him because when you get popped twice, you lose it in my book.
PDs you're talking about?
Yeah.
Taylor Moton is 9.
Taylor
Panthers.
Panthers. Solid young dude. They were excited about him.
Laramie is 8.
Laramie is an underrated athlete stud at that position.
This is just shocking to me because I've watched his whole career. Garrett Bowles is 7.
From what they're saying, Munches did the Mr. Miyagi.
Somebody needed to, because my man was getting more penalties than he was anything else.
And maybe they're projecting him because of that first round
46 penalties since 2017.
Wow.
He was on his way out the door, and Munch hit him with the Mr. Miyagi hand rub, and somehow
wax on, wax off. Here he is in the top 10.
Still not top 10 though. I'm knocking him because of his previous stuff. He should be below 15.
To your point, Bowles was the top performer, cut down on his penalties, provided clean play, led all tackles on the year in total starts with 1 or fewer pressures allowed, 12, and ranked 3rd among that group in negatively graded run block rate. He was 3rd at the position according to Pro Football Focus rankings last year.
All it takes is 1. Now it's time to get paid.
Number 6, Tristan Wirfs.
Wirfs, stud. Young stud for a while.
Ronnie Stanley is 5.
Being that he's injured, what Baltimore lacked in not having him there on that line, him and Zeus Brown together, I like Ronnie Stanley. He's paid like the top tackle in the league. He plays like it. It's just an unorthodox offense for a guy who's a great pass rusher or pass protector.
4 is Teron Armstead.
He's been solid for a long time, man. I think he can be out of the top 5, though.
Number 3 is Ryan Ramczyk with the Saints.
Saints also, yeah.
They have 2 of the top 5.
Just they don't have a quarterback.
Right. Number 2 is Trent Williams.
Number 1?
Well, you already named him earlier, Bakhtiari.
Okay, yeah, Bakhtiari.
I don't have much of a problem there.
No, I ain't got a problem there. Him and Bakhtiari can flip either way. You flip a coin as one or the other.
Well,
here's the thing. If Bakhtiari hadn't started to get dinged so much, he would be unquestioned number 1.
Easy.
But you're saying it could be either or, and I feel like availability is some of that.
It is some of that. Yes, it is 100%. I wasn't overly mad at it. Lawan is appropriate for the Titans fan. Conklin, I like Conklin. I do. Putting Panay in there is silly to me.
That's a joke.
He's got to play a year first.
Yeah, Teron could have been down a little bit. Tyron could have been down a little bit. It wasn't overly bad. It was just
Panay Sewell's like grading a draft class.
Yeah.
24 hours after it's happened.
I agree. Yeah. Cody, let's go to Cody in White House real quick. Cody, what's up? Oh, Cody, you with us?
Gotta be with
Yes,
us.
sir.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, buddy. What's going on, JMart, Ramon?
What's going on, brother? Good morning.
Nothing much. But like I said, man, Taylor Lewan, man, I think you guys are giving him way, way, way too much less of credit. I think he's definitely still a top 8 tackle in the league. I mean, I know he's been banged up a little bit like that, but he's been consistent besides the injuries.
Mention that top 10 again. Go from 1 to 10 down. He said top 8. Who's 8?
Well, remember, this is Pro
Garrett
Football
Bowles,
Focus.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Football folks. 8 is we go Tunsil, Garrett Bowles.
Bowles might be your
I just
only
laugh about
question
that.
right there. I would have knocked Bowles more because of what he done in the past.
It's a 1-year thing.
Yeah, it's a 1-year shot.
If he keeps it going, yeah. Tristan Wirfs, Ronnie Stanley, Teron Armstead, Ryan Ramchick, Trent Williams, Bakhtiari.
That's a solid top 8 to 1. I'm sorry, but Taylor ain't in that top 8. Highest I ever got on their list, I think, was 15. So I'm not one to knock him. I just don't think he's eclipsing those top 8 guys. Other than
I think he's been there, but I think that Taylor Lewan might have exited the building in terms of a guy that's a top.
That's why I said a minute ago, if this is Taylor Lewan 2 years ago.
Yeah, you did.
Yes. I agree with that a million.
And true enough, he's got time to correct all that we're saying right now.
No question. Look, this is the season of lies goes to the seasons of lists,
Yeah.
as you guys have said.
Yeah.
Exactly
And this is
right.
a silly one, too. I mean, so it's just this is water cooler talk. This is what we do.
It is what we do. He's not top 10. Not right now.
I agree with you.
He's going to have to play his way into
They
it.
could certainly use him to get there this year, though.
They want him to be top. They need him to be top 10.
He needs it to be top 10,
Sure.
too.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
he's in the same boat as Bowles if we're talking about penalties.
Gut feeling, Rhett. Julio here or not here?
Right now, I'm at 50-50. And just because I'm not going to believe everything that I've done this for a while.
Right.
Could it happen? Yes. Could it not? Absolutely.
Yeah. To that point about explosion plays, I don't know what Josh Reynolds got in his bag.
Well, here's the greater question. What does John Robinson give up to get him?
That's it.
That's where we are.
I told them I'm not giving up a 2. One or 2. 1 is off the board.
No.
I guess I'm a little more bullish than you. I would give up a 2.
I don't know.
Because
I'm more
I
conservative.
don't know what the window is.
I would say a 3 or a 4, but if that's the case, 8 teams are probably going to offer that.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't offer a 2, he's not here.
The thing that's
somebody will offer him a 2.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
But they owe a lot of people a favor though by taking that $17 million off the books. That's the other thing you got to look at is
no question.
Piece.
There's a lot, man. There's
It
a lot.
is, and you don't want to continue to play double dutch with this, jumping in the line.
And again,
but
John Robinson's got to make some type of move, whether it's restructuring Tannehill or whatever, to create the situation to be able to even do it.
We keep saying Tannehill, but if you want to have a flexible roster, though, you got to have more than him restructuring. Who else is on the bucket to be restructured, though? Tannehill and Taylor?
Talked about Byard.
Byard is the one I've heard mentioned.
So that's probably it right there. We'll come back. If you want to join us, 615-737-1045. The JMart and Ramon train rolls into its final stop next here on 104.5 The Zone.
Getting you fired up every weekday afternoon.
I'm telling you, man, I'm fired up now.
I know you are telling the truth, dude.
Blaine and Mickey. This afternoon, 1 to 3 on 104.5 The Zone.
Come vibe with us, bro.
Come vibe with me, bro.
I'd like to say that would get old, but it's not going to.
It ain't.
It really, really, really is not going
Come
to get
vibe
old.
with me, bro.
Come vibe with me, bro. Sound like a
For
real
real.
Come vibe
kid.
with me, bro.
Top ob. Let's give a bonus top ob at the end here. Top observation from a listener. This one coming from Twitch, where you're watching 104.5 Zone TV. Dark Goof, I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
Says, I think y'all might have spiked the coffee this morning because y'all being extra petty.
Yeah.
And then I did the microphone stunt. He's like, yep, definitely spiked it.
You see Kung Fu Hillbilly 1.
You could give him top ob just for his name.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Hillbilly 1 is out here, man.
He said bring in Golden.
You can get Golden for, remember what Bill Barnwell said?
Yeah.
About 1.1 million you can bring in
1.1.
Golden Tate.
And he's, as Kung Fu Hillbilly 1 said, he's a hometown guy. I'll be honest with you, if I had the opportunity and it was presented well enough, you take that. I mean, he's right down the street from Pope John Paul, and
yeah, maybe he finished his career here and bring him home.
Cool story if for anything.
For sure.
Marketing for the home team for sure.
For sure. All right, so it is 9:48.
Yes, sir.
On a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I think we're going to get some rain today.
It's supposed to come down today.
Is it really supposed to be that big?
Yeah, it's 90, 100% after 11 o'clock today.
Let me look at my little forecast here.
Of course, come on.
I don't see anything till I don't see
man?
anything till 2. You mean Rhett? He was in here earlier.
Brent said that he's the self-proclaimed
hashtag seasonal lies, man. Hashtag radio seasonal lies.
Hashtag Shannon Sharp Point 2. No. Brent's not that. No. Brent's not that.
No, he's not.
Brent's
This guy is all that. Well, Brent's all that too.
Yeah, he is.
But this guy's all that too. Our good friend, our brother, Inky Johnson, joining us on the line. Inky, we're blessed. We hope you are.
My guys, I'm doing great, man. How are you all?
Man, Ink, you know what we're going to say. If we were any better, we'd be Inky Johnson.
I don't know about that. I don't know about you guys got it pretty sweet, man. So I don't know about that.
Ink, how's the podcast?
Sir.
How's the podcast going?
It's going great, man. Going great. This week, man, I had my boy Bobby Wagner on, man. So great episode. Of course, he's a great guy. But things are going great, man. Got several great guests coming down the pipe. Just trying to add value to the world, man.
That's awesome.
You always add value to this program. So like I said, there's nobody else on this radio show. Well, there is a Macho Man impersonator, actually. Macho Man Todd Titan. We let him close shows from time to time. But your voice will be the last one people hear on JMart and Ramon on this Wednesday. So we turn it over to you, my brother. Go ahead and speak to us.
My guys. So, man, I got a message for us this morning. You know, in its simplicity, I believe it's profound. I think it's something that we all encounter throughout life, but we deal with it differently. And what I want to talk about is mistakes, right? And everybody in life possesses mistakes, whatever the case may be, whether it be in sports, whether it be in business, whether it be in relationships, whether it be with children. Like, we all encounter mistakes, right? We all encounter problems. And it usually defines us, whether it be the adversity, the opposition, or the other side of the challenge or the problem. And I shared with someone this weekend, I said mistakes in life is not what makes us lose, right? Mistakes in sports is not what makes us lose. Even though in the moment it can seem like the worst thing ever, and somebody can see a mistake and say, man, if that wouldn't have happened, we could have gotten the results that we wanted. If this didn't happen in the relationship, we could have got the results that we wanted. If this mistake didn't happen in business, we could have got the results that we wanted. And I said to him, mistakes is not what makes us lose. And they said, yeah, but sometimes mistakes do make you lose. I said, no, that's not true. I said, it's not the mistakes in life and business and sports that makes us lose. It's how we respond to them. It's like the quote that says, in life, we all have problems. What makes us different is how we solve them. And so always remember, it's not the mistakes that we encounter that makes us lose in certain situations. It's our response to them. Most importantly, we all have problems. But what makes us different is how we solve them. Go out and be great.
Off season. Yeah, like that exists. We have no idea what you're talking about. The Titan Station. Brilliant. 104.5 The Zone.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute. In their Hall of Fame and destined for Canton careers, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees have beaten all 32 NFL teams. Similarly, Tom